NBC News Radio, I'm Lisa Carter. There are various media reports of an explosion at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, that has injured as many as 15 soldiers. Officials at the fort say the soldiers were hurt during a training exercise. The injured taken to a base Army medical center. According to a report, the explosion happened when a vehicle rolled over in a remote area of the North Carolina base. A base spokesperson telling the Raleigh News and Observer there's been an incident on the base. President Trump is being briefed on the response to damage from devastating Hurricane Irma. Arriving in Fort Myers, Florida today, the president praised first responders for their work after the hurricane. The president saying during a stop in Naples,
I just want to tell you, we are there for you 100%. I'll be back here numerous times. I mean, this is a state that I know very well, as you understand, and these are special, special people, and we love them.
He and the First Lady, along with the Vice President, went on to serve lunch to storm victims. House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi says there will be a pathway to citizenship and a solution to the Dreamers problem. That contradicts something President Trump said this morning. Trump said he's not interested in citizenship or amnesty for hundreds of thousands of undocumented immigrants who were brought to the U.S. illegally as children. He said he's interested in taking care of people. Pelosi and Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer had dinner with Trump last night. In a briefing today, Pelosi said she trusts the president's sincerity in working to find a way to keep the Dreamers in the U.S. The FTC is investigating the Equifax breach.
The FTC's acting director of public affairs, Peter Kaplan, confirmed the investigation to CNBC. The FTC does not typically comment on ongoing investigations, but in light of intense public interest and the potential impact of this matter, the agency made the probe public. The breach of the credit reporting company compromised many Americans' Social Security numbers and driver's license numbers.
National correspondent Joe Gomez reporting from Washington. You're listening to the latest from NBC News Radio.
Look around your office. Is it time to change things up? Start a new home office or reorganize your professional office space? Visit Office Furniture Outlet in Corona and you'll feel great. With a huge inventory of both new and pre-owned office furniture, you can buy, sell, or even trade to get the job done. Office Furniture Outlet in Corona will get you looking and feeling good, and that simply means success and great business results. From executive office collections to home office options, you can find exactly what you need at an affordable price. Office Furniture Outlet. They have desk selections that range from modern and contemporary to traditional and elegant. With a large selection of sizes, finishes, and styles, you can design an office just the way you need it. An office you can be proud of. The Office Furniture Outlet in Corona is just south of the 91 freeway in McKinley at 284 DuPont Street, or visit OFOUSA.com. That's OFOUSA.com for the Office Furniture Outlet in Corona today.
KCAA is your CNBC News affiliate. We're the station that gets down to business.
Hello and welcome to Let's Go Shopping with Bev. This show brought to you by Starflight Entertainment. Music by Dr. Bombay and the Blue Machine Band. Song title Living in Paradise. Now here's Bev.
Well, welcome to the show, everybody in the Inland Empire and beyond, and the 190 countries that we have. Hello, welcome to the show. And if you've read my post, do you think they read the post today?
I think so.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
Yes. Well, if you happen to miss it, this whole show is gone to the animals.
If I could talk to the animals, just imagine it, chatting to a chimpanzee. Imagine talking to a tiger, chatting to a cheetah. Oh, what a neat achievement it would be. If we could talk to the animals, learn their languages, maybe take an animal degree. I'd study elephant and eagle.
Yes, we have gone to the animals.
That always makes me happy.
I know that song. And we have two very neat and incredible people, two of my very good friends.
All right.
And we have Carmen here.
Hello.
Hello, Carmen.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. And she is from the Calamasa Veterinarian Clinic.
Right.
And the Woodcrest clinic in
Yes.
Riverside.
Right.
And then in a few minutes, we are, Brandon's making some magic with a phone on us. And he is going to be calling the Uptown Pets in Yucaipa.
Wonderful.
And we are going to be talking to Clint about that.
Wow.
Yes.
I
and-
know that place.
Yeah, I know you know that place. Everybody knows that place, you know? And I was in there the other day. Carmen, I went berserk.
Did you go berserk?
Yes. They have, I don't want to say too much until we get them on the phone.
Yeah.
But with all the different kinds of clothing for the animals.
I know.
The blankies, the leashes, the leashes, you know.
I know.
There was one, I almost bought it, and I figured that would make such a gorgeous necklace. It was like this pinky color, and it had all little baby rhinestones around it. And I went, oh yeah, with a black blouse.
Oh,
Could you imagine?
Hey, our pets they get the fashion just like we get fashion.
I know, some of theirs looks better than ours.
I think a lot of theirs looks better.
I know it. We got to go shopping for this stuff, right? We'll start a new trend, and we'll
There
go
you
down
go.
to Jesse and say, look what we just did.
I tell you.
And we're going to talk about everything that they have in that shop. And then we're going to be talking to you. And then the three of us, we're going to be talking.
We'll just have to do what we got to do.
There you go. And Brandon, hi. Welcome for being our board up again today.
Hey, how are you guys?
We're
good.
great.
Good. All right, so Craig is already here from Uptown Pets.
Hi, Craig. Welcome to the show.
What's happening, Bev?
Oh, not too much. We're just talking about you and all the neat things that you had in the shop, Carmen and I. And
I sure hope so.
Greg, this is Carmen. Carmen, this is Greg.
Hello there.
How's it going?
I get to put a voice to the actual store. I'm so excited.
Well, you should be. Yeah. Now, Greg, would you please tell all of our listeners, I was thinking about this, why don't we walk through the front door and then start going down the different aisles of all the neat things that you have?
Well, when you walk into the front door, you're going to see our little cat section. We carry everything from cat litter, cat toys, cat treats, cat food, of course, and all the canned cat food. We carry all the bird supplies that you're ever going to need. We're going to carry all the small animal. It goes from hamsters, guinea pigs, all of that good stuff. And we take with exceptional pride in our dog section. We carry some of the best dog foods you could possibly buy on the market.
Yeah,
That includes treats and such. What was that, Beth?
Yeah. Brandon, he has a little surprise for you.
My God. You animals.
Yeah, we are crazy over here. Wait till you see what we're going to do for the cats when we get talking about the cats. You're really going to crack up, you know? And so now we left off right on the corner of the food for the birds and so on.
Mm-hmm. Well, after that, we carry a large variety of chicken feed, chicken products, all the dishes, waterers that you're ever going to need. And then around the corner, we carry a long, long, long wall of all the dog toys and such. Because, you know, you can never have enough.
Never.
And if you love your animals enough, you will buy them all. So.
That is right.
Yes.
Yep. But, yeah, after walking around the store, of course, we carry all the basic medications, all the supplements. Pretty much your standard inventory. Like I said, it's all good natural products, too. We don't carry anything in the store that we don't personally like. So we don't get bought off by the big companies.
There you go.
I am so happy to hear that.
Yep, and if you go around the corner again, then you're going to have our little animal section where Ryan takes care of all of the lizards, reptiles, amphibians, snakes. We carry a lot of snakes, so be prepared.
Wow.
And we're going to have all the supplies you're going to need for all of that, too.
And talking about that, too, the birds that you have, they are absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, yes. I handpicked them myself personally at one of the local bird farms, too.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And even if they're pretty, we want to make sure they're friendly as well, because if you have a pretty mean bird, it doesn't do you any good. It doesn't do anybody any good.
That's true.
Yeah, unless you want to give it to a relative that you don't like.
Maybe. That is your discretion.
Yes, yes. And then also, when I was in your shop the other day, and that lady was at the counter, and we were laughing at what she was buying, and you have the little mice there.
Oh, yes, all the mice.
Yeah.
Food, if you will.
food.
Yes, we do carry that. Feeder mice, feeder rats for all of those people who love snakes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
or anything else.
And she was saying, no, they're not mice or rats or anything, they're food. And I thought immediately, oh, I hope she's not cooking them for herself.
I hope not either. I have not seen her with the snake, so I couldn't really tell you.
Yes, and then talking about all the fantastic things that you have, the layout of that store, just the way you explained it, it is so easy to maneuver in that store. Okay. And the aisles are wide.
Oh, nice.
You know, so you don't feel like you're cramped. And if 2 or 3 people are in the same aisle, they can still have time with their buggies to stop and look and what have you.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, well, you know, there's a lot of trial and error involved in starting a business. So, yeah, we wanted to make it as comfortable for the consumer as well as us, too, as well, you know. So we try to make it a little bit more, you know, handy capable as possible as well. You know, a little bit, you know, caters towards everybody, every type of person.
Oh, that's so true. And I was talking to Carmen before we got on air in the cat section, and how you have a little collar for the leashes to hook onto. And I was laughing. I told her, I said you had it's like a pinky color with little rhinestones on it. And I told Carmen, I says, I'm seriously thinking of going back and buying that and wearing it as a necklace. It was gorgeous.
Yeah, if you want to bring it in, yeah, it's got that breakaway collar effect too, just in case.
Oh, how about that?
Definitely come on in and let me know.
Okay.
Say, ask for Craig, and I'll give you the hookup.
Okay, that's going to be funny. And then next month we're down into L.A. for Fashion Week. And I was telling Carmen we each got to have one of these and wear them down there with our
matching
black tuxedos.
Yeah,
you know? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the stuff down there is incredible, and your prices are so reasonable for what you get.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, of course, there's the competitive market aspect of everything. But, yeah, I mean, certain products, we just have to keep it down. But, you know, we like to be fair with our pricing as well. But at the same time, you know, maybe you can find something a little cheaper somewhere else. But you know what? You're also not supporting the business when you buy it a little cheaper, too. When you come to our store, you're actually supporting the actual community. We all live local here in town in Yucaipa.
Yeah.
So your money goes directly to us, towards our families, towards our community, because we spend it locally as well.
And that's the way it should be. Too bad every community wasn't like that. Wouldn't it be lovely?
Hey, I just want to pop in here. I noticed you say something. I don't know whether it was intentional, but I heard you say live local. And I've heard buy local before, but I haven't heard live local. I like that.
Well, I didn't say that, but I'll run with it. But yeah, you live locally,
that's what I heard.
Locally, you eat locally.
Yeah.
You love locally, yeah, everything.
Oh, no, I said live, not love.
I understood.
Oh, okay, cool.
But that, too, that's part of living.
But I like that.
Yeah.
Live locally. I like that.
Sure.
I like it, too. Maybe we'll make it our slogan.
Oh, do that.
We will.
That would be lovely. And we could make little T-shirts.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
We're always kind of, you know, we got a new logo, actually, too. So we're going to be making new T-shirts fairly soon as well, you know, little uniforms for us. Maybe we'll sell them to the customers, but that's something we can provide as well.
Oh, that would be really cool. And at this point, since we're talking about the shop, why don't you bump out your contact information?
Okay, our contact, our address is at 35039 Yucaipa Boulevard in Yucaipa, California as well. Our postal code is 92399, but I don't know why you would need that. But our phone number is 909-797-5566. Definitely throw us a line anytime. Our official name is called Uptown Pets, Feed and Animal Supply. That's our legal name. And, yeah, definitely give us a call sometime. And you know what? If you mention this radio show to me, I can give you 5% off your purchase.
Whoa, thank you.
That is awesome.
That's going to help a whole lot of people.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I'm going to come looking for you this week.
You better. Carmen, I'll give you 10% off.
Yeah.
Right on.
And then also, now that your shop has been there almost 6 years, hasn't it?
Yes, actually, there used to be a store in Yucaipa. It's been there since I was a little kid, even. It was called Pampered Pets. About 6 years ago, the owner of the building ended up taking over the business, and we've just been building up since then. And I was there since the beginning of Uptown Pets. So I was there when we were fixing up the first shelving and stuff, I was called in to help with that. They asked me, do you know anything about animals? I said, I got a fish tank. Said, you're hired. And since then, yeah, I've been a complete study, an academic study when it comes to animals and all of that, too, ever since then. I have found a passion in it, and I do enjoy it.
That's wonderful. With all of that, right, and all your education, and I like to hear people getting educated on what they're doing, and they go on and above. That's brilliant. And now you could actually say, yes, you can talk to the animals. That is so cool. Yes.
I got 2 parrots at home I talk to every day.
Parrots?
Well, we have 2 little kitty cats, and I talk to them. One is called Sophia, the other one is called Rose. Good Italian names. What else do you expect in my house? And this morning, when I got downstairs, I went to turn the coffee on, and they have these little balls, plastic balls, like they got to beat around with. And Sophia was sitting there looking, so I kicked the ball. We ended up playing a game of soccer. The coffee was being cooked. Yeah, it was real, and she is a good soccer player. She takes sight of her paw and bam, she knows how to do it.
That is wonderful.
Yes, and also with everything that's going on up in your shop, what is the one big thing you would love everybody to know?
Well, there's a lot of big things I want everybody to know, but...
Well, if there's 2 or 3 things... I will say the one thing I would say when it comes to animals and all that stuff, and including our products, look at the ingredients on the bag. Everybody at home listening should look at the ingredients of their dog or cat food or whatever, see what's in it. Is that something you would eat? Probably not. But if you come here and buy some stuff that we actually carry, you're gonna be appetized from it. Yeah, you would be surprised. I caught myself doing that the other day. And you know what else we didn't mention? You have the shampoos, the dry shampoos for the kitties and stuff. I have been looking high and low for that stuff, and they had it right there on the shelves.
Oh yes, we actually have a few brands that are dry shampoos like that, because you know how cats are when it comes to water.
Oh boy,
you gotta find ways around that. So we have.
and that is so cool.
Yeah,
you know that they have that. And you mentioned one thing. Is there another thing you would like to mention?
Besides the shop locally, which is of course very important for us and for the economy and everything. Yeah, just come on down and just look at the animals, because all of our animals are all well behaved. They're all well cared for. And if you come down and check out some of the animals that we have, you might find a new passion yourself.
That's true.
That's so true.
That's true.
Yes. But, you know, there's one thing that was not in your shop.
What was that?
One particular animal you don't have in your shop.
I know where this is going. I already know.
I got a feeling it's going to something. You guys are setting me up.
Yeah. No, an orangutan. Everybody everybody needs their own orangutan.
I knew that was going.
If you got the energy for it, by all means.
I have no idea how I started. That was years and years and years ago. And we were doing the show, and for some reason it crossed my mind, and it stuck ever since. Yes. That's why Carmen started cracking up, because she knew exactly what I was going to say.
It's like orangutans.
Orangutans.
The funny thing is, at one point, we actually did sell monkey food.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, Supreme monkey food of some sort. But, yeah, we actually had that at one point.
Oh.
Why
there's some people around town who've got them. I don't know who they are.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why they have them, but they got them.
Isn't that interesting?
We got to add that with the orangutan.
The monkeys. I have a question for you, because I know you have to kind of go with different seasons going on, and you know the next season that's coming up happens to be Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
Is the topic we're talking about as well, but I'm just curious to know about costumes.
We've got them.
You've got them? Can you tell me a little bit about what's popular and what seems to sell quickly with regards to costumes? I know people are always asking about where do they get their costumes from.
Superhero outfits.
Superhero
outfits.
I believe it. I believe it. Yeah.
We got the Batman, we got the Superman, Wonder Woman's huge now too. We got all of that too. We prefer DC over Marvel, but you know, everyone to their own. So
that's great.
I love that.
And what really probably enjoy having maybe some cards or some flyers in our hospital, because honestly, that's one of the top questions is, where can I get a costume?
Well,
Yeah, we'll bring in some stuff.
if you're going to come up Saturday,
Yeah.
right, we could do all of this.
I would love that very much. That just happens to be a kind of a hot topic right now. And I'm with you in the sense that I know there's many corporate businesses that you can go to, even the Walmarts and so on you can go to. But the reality is we do want to keep this really local, and we want to support our home businesses.
You have to. Because
it's American, people.
Right, and if it wasn't for our mom and pop independent shops,
Sure.
where would all these people be?
Right.
And the other thing why I've always been like this, even back in Brooklyn, I mean, 1,000 years ago, this is when it started, right? And that's the way my family shopped. They always went to the individual mom and pop shops. Everybody was friendly, everybody knew and it's like this community that you're building, right? And it was a good time shopping. When I got down here, I said, okay, let's do the same thing. People looked at me like I was loony, but I know I'm loony, but anyway.
Sure.
And it's good. And with the amount of people that I have met through my journeys on doing this, we're one huge family, and it's absolutely fabulous. Yes.
Absolutely, and I would be very much on board and excited to, refer them to a local business like this one here that has all of this, all this wonderful stuff. Sounds like you've got superheroes going down the road. That's a hot topic. I always hear about Batman and Superman. Those are the top two I think I hear all the time.
Yes. There's a couple other good ones, but they're not coming to my mind just yet.
Right. Yeah.
But I always
Green Lantern. You can't forget Green Lantern.
That's the one. Thank you.
Green
the
Lantern.
Green
Beat
Lantern.
Superman any day.
That's true. And I'm curious about the snakes, because I've never been a big.
So cool.
Well, and I've never been a big fan, but when you actually get to handle them and look at them, they're so cute. They're obviously I'm not talking about venomous ones. They have cute two little eyes, and their mouth looks like it's smiling.
Well, the thing with snakes, too, I mean, I think the real issue with snakes is that people don't know how to read them. Even for a while, I was very skittish around them myself. But after I learned how to read them, I can, see their temperament. Are they content or not? After I learned that, they were no problem. And they're actually really cool. And actually, they're very low maintenance. They're probably one of the cleanest animals you can actually get domestically,
Really?
They don't really ever dirty. They soak themselves. I mean, how about an animal that cleans themselves, You can't beat
Right. You can't
You
even
feed them once a week. You clean up after them once a week, and that's that. And they're cool.
You can't even get children to take a bath once a day, let
Yeah,
alone
you
a
gotta
whole
force
week. And if you just tuned in, you're listening to Let's Go Shopping with Bev right here on KCAA 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind. I love saying that, right? And we have Greg from the Uptown Pets in Yucaipa, and we have Carmen from the Calamasa Veterinarian Clinic and Woodcrest Clinic in Riverside. And we're talking all about the animals.
Yes.
Yes. And before we have to let you go, you have a decision. Would you like to stay on the phone with us for the rest of the show, or do you have to go?
I actually have to go. I'm still on the clock here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Huh?
We all work very hard at our store, so
All right,
there's never an easy day.
well, one more time, bump out your contact information.
Okay, so we're Uptown Pet Store in Yucaipa, California. Just Google us, Uptown Pet Yucaipa. You'll find us. You'll find our social media, which we're taking a lot of pride in recently. We actually have a new website out. It came out about a month and a half ago. So everybody check that out. Our address is 35039 Yucaipa Boulevard in Yucaipa, of course. And our phone number is 909-797-5566. And like I said, if you come in the store and you actually mention this radio show, then we'll save you 5% off. And also, we're actually having a major sale event in our parking lot in the back on September 30th. And that's from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. We're going to be drinking, we're going to be having drinks. We're going to be having a bunch of free food for everybody. We're going to be having some raffles going on, all that good stuff.
I thought when we were talking, we were going to keep that to surprise for a little bit, but I guess you wanted to tell him now?
No, we're going forward with it, and you two better show up.
We
will be looking for you.
Well, surprise.
That's right. That was our deal. That's why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Yes.
You two show up, I'll do the interview.
I cannot wait to have a few drinks with the animals.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Well, I meant non-alcoholic drinks, but, we're not really, we ain't the law, so it's okay.
There's a joke somewhere. I will think of that. And I want to thank you so much for being with us. And guess what we're going to do next week?
What are we doing?
We're going to talk to you again next week because we're getting so close to the 30th.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
call us whenever.
We got to bump it out.
Absolutely. I agree.
Okay? All right. Thank you, hon. Hopefully Saturday, if the schedule works the way we want it to work, Carmen and I will be popping in and saying hello and this and that. Say hello to everybody down at the shop for us, and we'll talk to you soon.
That's right.
All right. Thank you guys very much.
All right. See you soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Have a great day.
You too.
Okay, and right now we are going to go to break.
All right.
In polar bear and python, and I would curse in fluent kangaroo. If people ask me, can you speak rhinoceros? I'd say, of course.
KCAA is your CNBC news affiliate. We're the station that gets down to business.
Hi, this is Cliff from Cliff's Pest Control. Have you had problems with pests lately? Cliff's Pest Control has been in business for over 40 years and is family owned and operated. We can take care of your general pest problems, that's the ants, spiders, all the crawling bugs, and we also can take care of your termite problems. You can reach us at 909-887-1862. That's 909-887-1862. That's Cliff's Pest Control, Inc., serving the Inland Empire for over 40 years.
Hi, my name is Don, and I work with my wife Marie. We are holistic health practitioners specializing in magnetic therapy. Got pain, get relief. We are the Got Pain people. The benefits of magnetic therapy are speed up healing time, reduce discomfort and pain, reduce inflammation, detoxify your body, help improve blood flow. Got pain, get relief. We are the Got Pain people with MD Jar Magnetics. We can be reached at 951-743-6903. We help to relieve pain without the dangerous side effects of drugs. Some of the other benefits of biomagnetism are a safe alternative for the treatment of over 500 ailments, including cancers, chronic back pain, migraines, asthmas, cysts, tumors, acne, arthritis, knee pain, sports injuries, broken bones, high blood pressure, diabetes, fibromyalgia, sciatica, multiple sclerosis, stroke recovery. It also helps reconnect the brain to the nerves. We are located in Yucaipa, and we are the Got Pain people. With MD Jar Magnetics, got pain, get relief. 951-743-6903. Once again, 951-743-6903.
Hello, Inland Empire. We are Fabi and Nacho, the owners of Frank and Kids Garage. Do you have an import vehicle and don't know where to have it serviced? Frank and Kids Garage Import Automotive Repair Specialist will fix your Japanese, German, or American car. We've been in San Bernardino since 1969, specializing in import autos, but certified to work on most makes and models. We're located at 480 South Arrowhead in San Bernardino. Follow us on social media at Frank and Kids 2, on the web at frankandkids.com. For free estimates, call us at 909-888-0410. Se habla español.
If you own or work at a restaurant, bar, or nightclub, here's an important message to help improve your bottom line. At Starflight Entertainment, we rent professional karaoke DJ systems. The monthly cost is affordable, and Starflight systems are easy to operate. For more information, call me, Rich, or Bev at Starflight Entertainment, 909-797-7291. Starflight karaoke systems have great sound, and Starflight provides a large selection of songs, everything from the 40s to today's latest hits. We at Starflight Entertainment will supply a professional karaoke jockey, or we'll train someone for you. The Starflight system can also be used almost like a jukebox during your slower times. Starflight Entertainment has been in business since 1989, and many bars, restaurants, and clubs have been customers for up to 10 years. Starflight covers San Bernardino, Riverside, Orange, and Los Angeles counties, and we can help improve your business. So remember the name Starflight Entertainment, and remember 909-797-7291.
Starflight Entertainment.
KCAA Loma Linda, your CNBC news station, where your business comes first.
Imagine talking to a tiger, chatting to a cheetah. Oh, what a neat achievement it would be if we could talk to the animals.
And we're back, everybody. Yes, and this show went to the animals. And if you just tuned in, that's what this whole show is all about.
Yep.
And Miss Carmen, who did we just speak to?
Oh, we just spoke with Craig. What a nice man.
Isn't
and
he?
That's for the, what was it, the Yucaipa?
The Uptown Pet Shop.
Uptown in Yucaipa.
And Yucaipa on Yucaipa Boulevard, yes. And tomorrow, all of this information will be back onto the Facebook and Twitter and yada, 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 and all that other good stuff.
Yeah.
And, he's a very, very nice person. I met him. We had a good time in that shop. And like we were saying, it is incredible to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when we join up, we have to go down there.
Sure. Well, what I really liked, it's a local shop, and they're really trying to cater to the community, and we should be supportive and help them stay strong and thrive in our community. But they're also doing us something good by having some unique items there for sale, so I'm really excited.
Yeah, and then we're going to be next week, we'll be talking to him again about the big event that's coming on Saturday, the 30th.
Right.
Yes, and
it sounds like a block party almost.
And it pretty much it will be. And the thing is if you didn't go early, find a parking spot.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
And then you're going to be all set. And put on comfortable shoes. I noticed, I don't know if it's just me or if you noticed it and everybody else. When you go to these outdoor events, regardless what they are, you see these ladies walking in high heels.
I know.
Get comfy. You know, it's a Saturday afternoon. Be comfy. Wear something lower.
Absolutely.
Right?
Wear some tennis shoes.
There you go.
Or some flip-flops.
There you go.
Be comfortable.
Flip-flops are a must. yes, you know. And then the big floppy hats that we have.
Sure.
Oh, you know
what?
Be
comfortable.
That just gave me an idea for when we go to the event, how we can dress.
Yeah?
With a big floppy hats.
Well, we managed to seem to be in sync with colors. Let's add the hats to the mix.
Let's do it to it. There you go. And also, Brandon, thank you for all the music on the first half of this show. And pretty soon when you hear that word kitty, you better know what to do, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's going to be a surprise. So, Carmen, dear Miss Carmen.
What's going on, Beth?
Well, you tell me what's going on in Calamasa Veterinarian Clinic over there in Calamasa.
Yeah, so we have the two hospitals, Calamasa and Woodcrest Vet Clinic. They're both the same. They're sister hospitals. It's just one's in Calamasa and one's in Riverside.
Well, wait a minute. I got to break in. If they're sister's hospital, which one is the oldest and which one is the youngest?
Well, they're almost. Let's see. Woodcrest is the oldest.
Ah, she is.
Woodcrest is the oldest.
Okay.
With I believe it's like 27 years or 26 years, something like that. With Calamasa's at like 20.
Oh.
Yeah.
Between sisters, yes. Okay, go on.
Yeah. We have, it's open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Now, Calamasa's on Saturdays, they're from 8 to 1. But Monday through Friday from 8 to 6. So you can give us a call, schedule an appointment, but we take emergencies. We don't turn business away because we know your pet is important. And of course, you want to get those concerns addressed and taken care of if there's something urgent. Right now, what season we're in?
We're going into fall and Halloween. So
Hallelujah.
What do you get for Halloween?
So for Halloween, you know what? The fall season, I just love the colors. I've always loved the colors. You know what I mean?
This is my favorite time of year.
It's the best time ever, really. As for pets, though, we, as always, the main things that we see pets for, I need to share with you. We have holiday hazards. Halloween is actually a little bit of a hazard because candy
is deadly.
Is everywhere with its wrappers and its chocolate. And our pets, I don't know, it's like they have bionic noses. They know where we hide our candy. It manages to fall, and they find it faster than we even know that it fell. And so unfortunately we see a lot of pets that end up eating candy, and you start seeing a lot of vomiting and diarrhea and a lot of getting sick. Chocolate is very bad for dogs. And we want to make sure that we're keeping all of these things, locked up. I would have to say that's really important. Not locked up, but away from them.
Well, one thing that I found, because I'm a big dog lover.
Sure.
And we had dogs pretty much my whole life until I got here to California. In Woodstock, I'm still going to be getting him. Hopefully by next year I'll have the time to take care of him.
Yeah.
And what I do is any candy, and you have cats, dogs, orangutans, whatever you have, put your candy in the freezer.
Sure.
It's the best place for it. This way it's going to stay fresher longer.
Sure.
The chocolate is not going to get all
yucky.
yucky. And then when you peel the paper off, the paper will come off in one shot instead of little bits and pieces.
Sure.
And then the other thing to remind everybody too, the candy wrappers, don't leave them laying around.
No.
Because they're going to smell that chocolate and everything else. They're going to start eating that
paper. They can't wait to eat it.
Yeah. You're going to have one very sick pet.
Unfortunately,
sick
yes.
Children.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
But this is a real common thing that we end up seeing pets for, is they end up having a lot of vomiting and diarrhea because they've unfortunately been eating a lot of candy. They can't really there's a lot of things that they cannot digest. And what comes with the holiday season, as much as we want to, I highly encourage you not to feed them table food. It's the holiday and we're thinking, oh, I really want to give them some of these things. And I got to tell you, there's a list of things out there that are very, if not dangerous, they can even be deadly.
Yes.
So don't chance it, because if you don't know, then don't feed it to them, and stick to their nutritional food that you get them and snacks that have gone through the approval processes for them to eat. But people will tend to even think, I'm going to do my pet a little favor. It's the holiday. How about a little alcohol? No, let's not do that either. Remember, they have a completely different digestive system. Caffeine, coffee, grapes, raisins, macadamia nuts. There's a laundry list of these things that you shouldn't be feeding them. Salty snacks. Even you need to be careful with like raw eggs and raw meat because of the bacterias. They get just as sick as we do. And
even sicker sometimes.
Yeah, sure.
It depends on the age of the animal. And the weight has to do a lot with it. So people, please, we're asking you nicely. We're not going to nag like my mother nags. But we're not going there. But we're going to ask you nicely. Use some common sense.
Sure.
That pet that you have is a family member.
That's right.
Treat that family member just like you would anybody else in your household, your apartment, your house, your condo, your trailer, your teepee, whatever you're living in. Think about it. How would you feel if you were a little puppy or a little kitty or an orangutan or a snake, whatever, and people are feeding you this food and it seems like a treat. You eat it and you're getting sick and nobody's paying attention to you.
And really sick, unfortunately.
And you could lose your family member. It's that serious.
Oh, absolutely. So, when I think of the fall, of course, I want to think of positive, beautiful colors and so forth. But I know we get so excited because we get so many things, from gifts to foods to candies, and these are the things that we see are, pets coming in for emergency situations are always related to holiday events and things of that nature. I would have to say the other big one that we have found to be our little toys.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not talking about pet toys. I'm talking about these little toys that come with maybe Halloween, those little fake snake rings or spider rings. Or, and they see this, and so they can't wait to chew on it. Next thing you know, they have like a couple of toys that could be causing an obstruction. And these things really actually happen, and they happen pretty frequently. So I can't stress the importance of really paying close attention to where these small objects and toys are that your pet is not going to look at it and say, oh, this is going to be dangerous for me. They're going to look at that and go, oh, yeah, in my mouth.
And, talking about this, there's one question I wanted to ask you the other day, and we're doing so much it slipped my mind. Like in my home, I have a lot of plants, all right? And with the kitties, they like to go out and search and, like
sure.
all the other animals. How can you keep the kitties off the plants? And Sophia figured out how to pull the leaves off, and she was eating one of them.
Yeah.
And I had to get it away from her immediately.
Oh, no.
Is there a spray? Is there what can you do for the animals?
When you're now you're talking about behavioral training, and one of the most common ones, which not everybody likes to use, but is spraying them with water.
I got a spray bottle like it's a king size here, and I'm running around.
When they start to identify that they get sprayed every time they touch that, they eventually do.
Get it through their head.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
And people use that for even when they're scratching on furniture, sometimes if they're going to the restroom outside of the box, that type of, behavioral things. That's the easiest way with cats. Because they don't pay attention to spankings and things of that nature.
No.
You can't even go there with them.
Well, what I did is, I have the king size spray bottle, and when I'm home, I do, and then also with Rose and Sophia, when they started doing something, right? And I said, okay, let's do it my way, right? Sure. I said, hey, what you doing? Get there, and I clapped my hands. They're done. That was it. That's all it took. And when I see them climbing on the furniture or they're hanging on the banister.
Oh, they're having a blast,
yeah.
It sounds like.
I go, hey, what's the matter? Get off in it. And that's it. I want. Now, if I could do this to people, wouldn't that be fabulous?
Wouldn't that be fabulous?
Yeah.
I know.
And if you spray them. And if you just tuned in, you're listening to Let's Go Shopping with Bev right here on KCAA 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind. And we are talking to Miss Carmen from Calamasa Veterinary Clinic and Woodstock.
Woodcrest.
Yeah, I got thinking of the dog.
Woodstock, you're ready to go.
Sheepdog back. And Woodcrest and Riverside. And Brandon is our bought up again. Yay! And we're very happy with Brandon. We have a good time with him. And Brandon, really quick, let's play that little music that we have. This is the one. Talking about cats. Here you go.
Aww.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle,
the lion sleeps tonight.
In the jungle, the quiet jungle.
I always think of the Lion King.
Thank you, Brandon.
That was fabulous.
Yeah, Brandon and I get together, and who's ever on the show, we come up with unique music for everybody. And wait till you see what we're going to be doing for Christmas. That's a big secret. We're not going to tell anybody. We're just going to go and do it.
I already have several things running through my brain.
Yeah. Well, don't say anything.
I won't
say
a word.
My brain, which is very scary.
We had fun with that last year.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? We're going to do it again this year. Yeah.
Well, you come up with some clever ones for animals, We've got so you could talk with the animals. Mm-hmm. Then we have this one. And then there was another one I heard today.
Who let the dogs out?
Yeah.
For the doggies.
That was great.
And then also talking about Halloween.
Yes.
I wanted, this crossed my mind too. We talked about the candy and all of that, right?
Sure.
The other thing is with all the children coming with the families and stuff, ringing the doorbells, knocking on the doors and stuff. This goes for all of your pets, straight across the board, right? Humans and non-humans, all of your pets, right? They're going to start getting a little nervous hearing the doorbell, the trick-or-treat, this and that. Maybe to make them calmer and happier, put them in their own little room, maybe with some toys, the little bed, a blankie, maybe put a movie on about animals or something, and keep them calm. Because
It's a lot of stimulation.
Right,
Yeah.
because what could happen is the cat, your dog, or something could escape when that door is open when you're passing out candy.
Sure.
Yeah, so try that, and let me.
Well, with the whole Halloween time, it's fun. You know, we can't wait to dress our pets maybe and go take them out on a walk so we can show them off. And, you know, there's a couple of things you definitely want to be careful with, in the sense that the costume may be cute, but, you know, can they breathe? Can they walk? Do they have restrictions? Be thoughtful of those things. You don't want them to struggle out there where they're walking. And then I would have to say the most important thing, no matter where you're going, is that you do have them on a leash.
Yes, most important.
That is the most important, because so much is happening during the holiday season. Anything from a lot of people, you know, fireworks, noises, all kinds of, you know, festivities that are shocking and nerve-wracking. So some of them kind of want to just bolt, and you don't want them bolting out into the street, you know, getting lost. So the other part to this is making sure that they either have some caller information in the event that they get lost, somebody can get them returned to you, or definitely have them microchipped, because a microchip,
that's a big one. Yes.
Yeah, microchip will lead them to back home to you. You know,
right? Because you know they get lost just like humans do.
Oh, sure they do.
You know what I mean? And like you said, they get upset or scared, and their whole memory bank goes a little
absolutely.
wacky.
Absolutely,
you know? Yeah. And then the other thing too, if we can finish this up and then go on to the next subject, people foods, right? Again, we're asking you all, please, do all of your pets a favor. Don't feed them people food, period. Now, I have an idea, all right? Halloween. You usually have maybe a soup or a stew, something quick for you out the door, right? Okay, you want to do something special for your pet? Get him or her a new food dish. Maybe, and they have them for all different holidays and stuff. Go down and get him something a little special.
Sure.
You know, go down to the 99-cent store, and you don't spend a lot for it, right? And when you put the food in there, shape it, right? Some of the food is you know, it's kind of mushy, and you could shape it, maybe do a little pumpkin or whatever.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And you can do that. They have food coloring now for animals.
Yeah.
Right? So you want a little different color, give them a little excitement, put it in.
Sure.
There you go. Sure. And then for Thanksgiving, you could do a turkey, right? For Christmas, you could do a ham, or what, you know, a nice lasagna would be perfect, you know?
Yeah, well, and we probably should have checked with Craig, but a lot of places that sell pet snacks, they sell things like doggy cookies.
He has
and
them
cupcakes.
He has them in the shop.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
And they get really excited. They know it's something special. They know it's not the regular food, you know.
Yeah.
So you can always get them fun new treats or these baked goods that are made specifically for your pet. You know, they're not real chocolate. They just look like they are.
Like chocolate. Smell like it a little bit, you know what I mean? Just as long as it doesn't smell like my sister's cooking, they're gonna be fine.
They're gonna be.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that woman can't even boil water.
Oh no! Poor
you know,
thing.
yeah. And listen, before we go on, let's bump out the contact information for both of your clinics.
Okay. Well, the Calamasa Veterinary Clinic, which is really close by, you cannot forget this. It's at 980 Calamasa Boulevard in Calamasa, California. Our phone number is 909-795-0030. And our Woodcrest location is at Woodcrest Vet Clinic is at 18945 Van Buren Boulevard in Riverside. And the phone number there is 951-780-4799.
Yeah, you know, and let your fingers do the walk and call them.
Absolutely,
yes.
Absolutely. We're here for you. Let us be yours. Let us do whatever service you need for your pets.
Well, I know when we got the kitties, we got them straight over to you, and bada bing, bada boom, they're taken care of. And then when Michael was home and his Mr. Kitty,
yeah,
and
Mr.
we took
Kitty.
Mr. Kitty over to you, you know, and they're happy animals.
Yeah.
Yeah. They really are.
Good.
And just out of curiosity, you know what would be fun?
What would be fun?
Okay, now everybody listen. In ear range, everybody listen, right? Let's take a survey.
Okay.
How many people have cats? How many people have dogs?
Oh my.
I always wanted to know the answer to that.
That would be interesting. I don't even know. Is it a 50-50 thing? Is it a 60-40?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But it'd be kind of interesting to find out.
Yes, I've had both, and right now I just have cats.
Mm-hmm.
Our dog died, and when he did, we mourned for a long time, so we weren't ready to get another dog. But we had cats, and we've just been keeping cats, and it's been going from that direction. So a little, from the independent standpoint, I don't have to take them out for walks and do all these things in my life right now, which works out for me. So when I talk to people, I say, why do you have cats? And some are like, I just love the way they snuggle and love, and I don't have to worry about doing all these things, where others feel like the dog shows more love and more affection. So yeah, we have dog people and cat people. I wonder what that percentage is, even right here in the Inland Empire.
Let's do a survey and let's find out, because I want to find out.
You want to find out? Okay.
I am curious now.
What's
I'm glad
going on
you
out
brought
there,
that
Inland
up.
Empire? What kind of a pet do you have? Let us know.
Yeah, and I just got a little note here from somebody in the station. His name is Rich, and he has a question he wants to ask.
Okay.
If he can ask the question. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, what's the question?
Well, we're talking about the food, feeding cats and what have you, or dogs, whatever. I'm sitting at the table and I'm maybe eating chicken or turkey or something like that. That seems pretty innocuous to me. I mean, could I break off a piece of that and give it to them? Even, is that a problem?
Well, I'm going to tell you what the real problem behind this is. If you were to bake some chicken and you took some baked chicken and you put it in their bowl, that would be okay. Baked chicken without all the seasonings and the grease and the butters and all this, right? But when you're feeding them from your lap and from your table, you're actually helping them to develop bad behavior. So the chicken itself is not the bad, as long as there's no, seasonings and things of that. But them coming up to your lap and eating off of your plate or from this is bad behavior, because now every time you eat, a guest eats, they're going to want to come because they're expecting that.
Well, I did this once or twice, and so now that's exactly what they do. They are so cute, pretty, and beautiful. They can do anything they want.
They're wrapped around your pinky.
And they've got me wrapped around, I don't know, whatever.
I know. Their paws. Right, yeah.
So they can do anything they're done well, please.
Oh, no.
And I've got to be told, stop that. I mean, I get sprayed with water.
I would have to agree, because do you want them begging your guests for the food off their plates,
Yeah, I guess they would, wouldn't they?
They would. If they're doing it to you, they'll do it to anybody.
Okay.
Well, I just wanted to, and the other thing is the plants in the house, or like the big bushes we have out front, if they ever got out, those big things with I forget what they call them, the bushes out front with the big flowers on them. Everybody has them, these big monstrous things. Anyway, can they eat certain plants like that, or certain leaves that would actually hurt them?
For the most part, they are going to know. But if they get sick, put it this way, you'll know by diarrhea and vomiting. Those are your big two keys that say there's an issue here.
All right.
Yep.
Just wondering about those couple things.
No problem.
So I looked it up.
Yes.
The cat people versus dog people versus people who like both.
Oh, this is exciting.
You did.
Yeah.
So, this is specific to people that read Live Science.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is not Inland Empire. This is a poll that Live Science conducted. More people said that they were dog people. 60% of people said that they were dog people. 11% of people said that they were cat people.
11?
The rest of everyone else liked both of them.
Oh.
So you mean we can, who let the dogs out? Yay, we won!
Wait a minute, but how many people like orangutans?
Orangutans, Bev, the one.
One.
Wait, Brandon, thank you for taking
That
that
was
time
fabulous.
and doing that.
No problem.
So
That was
there's
awesome.
the answer.
There you go.
Yep.
60% dogs, 11%
11%
cats, and the rest
is
both. That was 71. So what is that, 29?
Yep.
You right? 29? Okay.
You got it.
Yeah. 28. Okay.
Oh, close enough.
Yeah.
Well, that is a cool thing to know.
It is pretty neat.
Yeah.
I would think, though, the 11% cats would be more. But it makes sense because people who have cats do tend to have dogs, too.
Yeah. Except me, I don't have Woodstock yet. I'm not home long enough to take care of myself, let alone a dog. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
And then also, Carmen, one more time, bump out your contact information, please.
We would love to see you, and we will most certainly give you the best prices in town. Cala Mesa Veterinary Clinic is at 980 Cala Mesa Boulevard in Cala Mesa, California. 909-795-0030, and our Woodcrest location in Riverside is at 18945 Van Buren, Riverside, California, 951-780-4799.
There you go. And I hope everybody enjoyed the show today about the animals.
Thank you for having me.
And tomorrow when I get up on Facebook and all that good stuff, I'm going to bump out this information. And Carmen, I forgot to ask you, one big thing. What is the one big thing you want everybody to know about you and your clinics?
What's the one big thing? We're like your family doctor, except we're for your pets. We know you. We know your pet really good. And so, you know how you have a doctor from when you were a child all the way till you're a senior? That's how we are. We take care of your pets from when they're a little baby kitten or a puppy till they're a senior. Okay.
So in other words, you start off at the pediatrician and you go all the way through.
That's right. That's what we take care of.
And then when the grandchildren come,
we do.
Yeah, that is so cool. And I hope everybody enjoyed the show today. You can tell we're a bunch of animal lovers down here.
That's right.
And we will keep you informed. Next week we'll be talking to Uptown Pets again about their big event on September 30th.
That's
It's
right.
on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And Carmen, you're going to be there?
I'm coming.
Okay. And Brandon, thank you for another good show. Everybody be safe, be happy. We'll talk to you next week, same time, same station. Ciao.
Bye.
I saw you, you had sparkles in your eyes. It was unbelievable how you had me hypnotized. I knew from that moment you were the one for me. But you know you're setting me free. I'm living in paradise. Yeah.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
I'm Tom Busby, CNBC. It looks like a pretty good deal for Foxconn. Wisconsin lawmakers today signing off on a $3 billion incentive package for the Taiwan-based electronics firm to build a flat-screen television factory there. It will be the biggest subsidy ever paid to a foreign company in U.S. history. Inflation is on the rise. Consumer prices in August up more than forecast because of higher prices at the gas pump, higher rents, and higher home prices. Equifax now under investigation by 40 state attorneys general, Congress, and now the Federal Trade Commission over that massive data breach that it waited 6 weeks to disclose. On Wall Street, another record closing high today for the Dow after it added 45 points. The Nasdaq, though, down 31. And good news for Chicago. JP Morgan Chase is spending $40 million to revitalize the city's south and west sides, focusing on small business lending and job training. Tom Busby, CNBC.
Attention all authors. Page Publishing is looking for authors. Have you written a book and want to get it published? Page Publishing will get your book into bookstores and for sale online at Amazon, Apple iTunes, and other outlets. They handle all aspects of the publishing process for you. Printing, cover art, publicity, copyright, and editing. Call 800-501-3689 now for your free author submission kit. That's 800-501-3689 for your free author submission kit. Again, 800-501-3689.
Life doesn't stop for car trouble, work, school, dentist appointments, the workout you wouldn't mind skipping. Our cars connect us to our lives, so wouldn't it be reassuring to know that our cars are up to the job? Enter Hum by Verizon, the technology that connects you to your car. Now you can check your car's health from your phone with vehicle diagnostics. Get advice on the go with a certified mechanics hotline. And if Hum detects a collision, it can send help automatically with 24/7 emergency assistance. Get Hum and get where you're going. Learn more at hum.com.
NBC News Radio, I'm Tom Roberts. President Trump has high praise for the utility workers who fanned out around Florida and worked around the clock restoring power following Hurricane Irma.
There's never been a mobilization of electrical workers like we have in the state of Florida, and it's going on very rapidly. Much of it is already on.
The president's now back in Washington, D.C. after touring parts of southwest Florida. President Trump is once again teeing off on Arizona Senator John McCain for killing the Republican health care plan. Trump told reporters aboard Air Force One today that McCain's no vote on the slimmed-down Obamacare repeal came out of nowhere and was a very unpleasant surprise. House Speaker Paul Ryan says there's no bipartisan agreement on Dreamers. Ryan said today a dinner between Democratic leaders and President Trump was a discussion, not a negotiation. An Army spokesman at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, says multiple soldiers are injured after an explosion during a training exercise today. Tom Roberts, NBC News Radio.
For several years, KCAA has been marketing the Youngevity brand of nutritional and personal care products. Our experience with Youngevity has been 100% positive, so we are pleased to recommend them to you. Regarding nutritional supplements, we recommend Pollen Burst in the berry flavor and Tangy Tangerine 2.0 in the tablet form. For regularity issues, we recommend 3-Day Cleanse, and for personal care, we recommend Morning Hydration Cream. You can shop online for Youngevity at www.kcaateam.com, or you can order by phone by calling 800-982-3197 and tell customer support that you are part of the KCAA team. Youngevity is an American company based in San Diego. Call Youngevity at 800-982-3197 and ask about monthly auto ship that allows you to buy Youngevity products at wholesale prices. That number again, 800-982-3197. Psst! Hey you! Yeah, you! Do you know where you are? Well, you've done it now. You're listening to KCAA Loma Linda, your CNBC news station. So expect the unexpected.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the greatest real estate investment show ever. Here's the flip-flop investor himself, Todd Bayer.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Flip-Flop Investor Show. I am your host, Todd Bayer, the Flip-Flop Investor himself. Right here, we get together every single week and we talk about real estate investing here in the Inland Empire, as well as, anywhere. We can talk about it anywhere in the state of California, pretty much, because the laws don't change much. We get a local expert or some kind of a newbie sometimes to come in and talk to us about their experience in real estate. And today, since we are talking about the laws of California, I thought it'd be great if we can get together with an attorney. So we got Larry Shelton. How you doing today, Larry?
Hey, pretty good yourself, Todd. How are you?
Doing pretty good, man. Yeah, it's a good day. It's it's not as hot.
Man, it's fantastic, man. Yeah, the last couple of weeks, man, it's just been 112, 110.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so ready to be done with summer. It's like my least favorite season. But so you're an attorney.
Yes.
You've been an attorney for how long?
Man, actually about 25 years.
25.
Yeah.
And I know you focus primarily on like civil cases, but you've done some kind of criminal cases and things like that too. What's your background mostly in the civil side?
You know what? That's a great question. Civilly, we do mostly injuries. We have a couple of or a few wrongful death cases. So we spend most of our time doing injuries and damages as it relates to contracts as well.
Yeah. So damages relating to contracts is obviously where the real estate side comes in, because most people in this business operate on contractual basis. And so what kind of real estate related lawsuits or things like that have you been in that you can talk about?
You know what? When I first started, actually, the woman who actually got me involved or to be interested in law and that got me to go to law school, she was a probate attorney. And so that was really my first, if you will, foray into property. And it was really fantastic. That was about 28 years ago. I worked as her law clerk in probate law. And that I kind of started getting interested in real estate at that time.
Okay, so and now you're mostly focusing on like short-term rentals, which is a pretty hot thing right now in the real estate world. A lot of people are wanting to get onto Airbnb, and get into that short-term rental market. But we're getting a lot of pushback from municipalities.
Yes,
and not necessarily much at the state level yet, or so much at the county level. Or are we? I don't know. Are we getting?
You know what? My understanding, Todd, it's we're getting a lot of pushback with respect to a lot of local communities. And I'm really excited about short-term rentals, Airbnb. As you know, my business partner, Patrick Diamond, he is a guru in STR, and I feel very, very lucky and blessed to be a part of his team. And so we were trying to make sure that the laws don't encroach our business plans. But I think we're able to work around it.
Yeah, so some of the main things that people are learning as short-term rental people is that they have limitations on the number of people that are allowed to stay in a property in a particular municipality. So, you want to elaborate a little bit on that sort of a thing, on what's going on with limitations on guest count and things like that?
I've been to a couple of meetings. One of the meetings that I attended was in Wrightwood. And what's going on, though, a lot of the folks in the community, a lot of the residents, they don't like what's going on because some of the owners of those STR, the short-term rental properties, aren't controlling them. So we're having meetings to try to make sure that if they can control the situation, I think that we'll be able to work through some of those local laws.
Okay, so some of the by saying that they're not controlling them, that means that is it because Airbnb is controlling them, or is it because they have kind of like a third-party company or person that's maintaining and sort of running the properties?
That's a great question. Oftentimes, a lot of investors, they will buy up a lot of properties, renovate them for STR purposes without the management companies that they get to control the situation or should control the situation. They're not really doing a great job of finding the right, the right people to occupy those spaces. And that's sort of causing some issues. As a matter of fact, one of the issues that occurred in Wrightwood was they were actually shooting porn exactly right near a school. And so some of the residents were pretty unhappy with that. And I can understand that. So I think we're trying to work through some of those issues. And then that way, everybody can kind of have an opportunity to make some money.
Yeah, sure. So I guess, I never really thought of it being an avenue for pornographic filming or anything like that. But you think, they do need these places to go, and they're furnished and, so.
Tell me about it, man. I mean, some of the places there in Wrightwood, and think about it though, Todd, you can kind of shoot certain scenes during the snow time, or I should say the winter.
Sure.
And then you're right. There already are furniture there. And so we just want to make sure that some of those things don't occur.
Right. Okay. So that's obviously something that some municipalities would love to shy away from. I don't think any city in particular wants to be known as the city of porn, And
especially a place like Wrightwood. There's a conservative element there. And it's a family place. Right. And so I do understand, some of the concerns. But I think they're being addressed. From some of the agencies there in San Bernardino, and I think things are going to work out.
Yeah, and do they have any kind of a limitation, or do they actually have anything in place in Wrightwood that says what you can and can't do with these things yet?
Believe it or not, they weren't really aware of the explosion of the STR industry, and so right now they're trying to figure things out. But for a long time, they really didn't have a lot of rules in place.
Yeah. And are you familiar with any of the things that are going on out in like places like Palm Springs or Santa Monica, any of those types of places?
No, I'm not. I'm not fortunate enough to know what's going on there.
Yeah, that's the stuff where a lot of people, they get stuff out in like the Coachella Valley.
Yes.
Because they got the Stagecoach Festival that go on every year. They got Coachella. I'm sorry, Stagecoach and Coachella. And those, if you have a place close to the actual place where they do those events, some of these owners are paying their months or years mortgage on just the short 2 weeks that they have to have those things available. So it's a very attractive thing for some people out there.
Extraordinarily, man. As a matter of fact, I'm looking for a place there so that I can join in and make some money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm all about the STR, and because it gives people an opportunity to increase their economics, and I think that's a really important thing.
Yeah. So going towards the contract side of things, I guess what are some common things you see happening with breach of contract, stuff like that? What are the most common sort of indicators of that?
Sometimes sometimes we have a tendency not to be really nuanced and very detailed about certain things. Believe it or not, sometimes you can say time is a factor. Sometimes people don't really indicate or be very specific as it relates to how long. And another thing that I see a lot too is if something were to happen, who's responsible? Who's going to pay for it? And so those things need to be really, really clearly articulated out in a written agreement.
Sure. So yeah, the more detailed you can be about specifics, things like cost of things, the timeline of things, and any kind of specific tasks or things that certain parties are supposed to be responsible for, the more detailed you can be about it, the more likely probably that the deal will go well anyway.
Absolutely. And what people need to understand, whoever pretty much, and oftentimes it's the owner who puts together the contract. So the onerous is on him. So if there's any issues as it relates to anything, if there's ambiguity or anything like that, it usually is going to the owner or the person who actually put together the contract will oftentimes be at fault, or the case will go against them. So it's really important to make sure that you try to talk things out first, do a couple of memos, memorandums, make sure things are really clear, and then pretty much put things in place once you've had a good opportunity to talk things out.
Sure. And one thing that I think is important about today's day and age is that now with email, so much of the communication that happens before any one of these contract disputes come up is that there's a lot of email transactions in a lot of cases.
That's a fantastic point, man, because actually what people think, they think that only what's indicated in the four corners of the agreement is pretty much what has been or what we're going to be agreed upon. But those contracts, or I should say the emails, can come in as sort of evidence to discuss or to show what people have discussed prior to putting the agreement together. Yeah, that's a great point.
And in some cases, those could even act as like amendments or addendums to a contract that could protect one party or another. So if something's coming up and you see early on when you're inside of a deal with somebody and you see that something's not going the right way, as long as you're addressing these things in an email, it gives, and potentially it could be the owner, the one that wrote the contract, might actually be the innocent party. And for that person, they definitely should be calling out things that are not being done within the contract, and making sure that they're getting a solid communication between the other parties.
That's another great point, Todd, because here's something that people fail to understand. It's the intent. So oftentimes the court, the judge, they will look to see what the intent of the parties was, their mutual assent. So they're going to look for the intent. And if there's an email, let's say I said, hey, Todd, I didn't tell you X, Y, and Z. And he goes, Larry was in an email 3 weeks prior to the drafting of the contract. I said, no, it wasn't. You can bring that in and show that I did have the intent to do what was indicated in the email. So that was a great point.
And most of the time, these things, these civil cases, I'd say it's a very small percentage of them that actually make it all the way to trial. Most of them are probably settled in mediation or something like that.
They are, and I'm a big proponent of mediations because it's less cost, and oftentimes when the emotion has flared down, you bring parties into a mediation. Oftentimes they're represented by counsel, and just talk things out. Less money, let's get things resolved, and let's move on, and so we can make money. Right. So I agree with you. Yes.
Yeah, and what people don't realize is that when you get into a lawsuit, everybody's upset, they're angry, and so many people want to fight a lawsuit on principle. That's what gets called out. Like, I want to fight this guy on principle because he's a jerk and he deserves to lose money or whatever the case may be. But in a mediation, I know at least in the experiences we've had with it, you have somebody, usually like a retired judge or somebody will come in.
Absolutely.
And they'll come in and sort of talk sense to both sides and say, you don't want to go through this lawsuit process. You don't want to go through all the discovery, all the different things you need to come up with. Plus the cost, if you're at mediation, the cost is just going to go up insanely at that point and I know you're not guilty of this, but so many attorneys are very expensive.
Yeah, absolutely. And you bring up a great point. Sometimes people emotions get so carried away. I've had clients who say, hey, Larry, I don't care how much it costs. Just fight. and so they lose sight of what we're fighting for. Actually, the cost of the lawsuit becomes, it's not cost effective because it becomes actually bigger than what the actual principle or the reasons why we're in court in the first place. And so, but when you put things down on paper and on numbers and you show it to your clients, they'll say, okay, try to get rid of it. You know what I mean? But you're right. You're right, Todd. It's, I'm a really big, I can't stress this enough that I think things can be resolved in mediation. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
And because otherwise you really are going to spend a lot of money. Discovery, as you said, discovery is time consuming. It's very expensive. It's depositions, interrogatories, the whole 9 yards. So it's better, especially with property type of situations, it's better to get things resolved in the mediation. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so but if they can't come to a consensus at the mediation, like you said, they're going to start going down the rest of the path, which you mentioned, like interrogatories, depositions, things like this, where they're requesting information from the other parties, and basically each side's formulating their case.
Each side is formulating their case, and obviously each side, the laws of discovery are very, very, there's a lot of latitude in the area of discovery. They could ask you a lot of things, and sometimes they could ask you some personal things. They could ask you occurrences that may have taken place years earlier that you may want to kind of, they're pretty personal. But during the discovery phase, there's a lot of latitude. Now, eventually it may not get admitted to court, but they'll at least have that opportunity to get to know that. And so I try to tell clients, I'm about resolution. Let's try to resolve it. Of course, when you're right, you want to have the opportunity to fight for your rights. But sometimes taking a step back, getting the emotions out of the way, and let's try to resolve it.
Yeah, and so some of the things that happen prior to, well, I shouldn't say prior to, but during the case building, like you said, they're asking for all kinds of different information from each party, and they're trying to form a case against the other party also, where they're trying to form this character,
like assassination.
Yeah, character assassination. Where they're trying to make the other person look like a terrible person. Because if you do go to a jury trial, you want the jury to hate this person sitting in the whatever chair.
Yes.
And you want them to just vote against them because you don't want them to like them.
You bring up a great point too, because I've had cases where I believe that the law was on my side. I think the facts were really good facts, but unfortunately, the witness, my client, didn't make a very good witness.
Okay.
And a lot of us lawyers will say it's not. Unfortunately, Todd, it's not about the truth, but it's what can be proven in the court of law.
Yeah. And so I think a lot of people believe that the court system is all about justice and all about making sure that, the truth is sought and all that stuff. But it's a matter of who can put together the better case.
Who can put together the better case. And believe it or not, sometimes it's very intangible things which will give you a good verdict. It could be the color of your tie. Mm-hmm. The lawyer wore a blue tie and the jurors liked him, or the lawyer just sort of had a way about himself that the jurors seemed to connect with. So, I don't want to, but a lot of things are there's just some intangibilities there, man, that we just don't have control over.
Yeah. And that's, I guess, if we flash forward into the process, let's assume it does go to a jury trial.
Yes.
Attorneys have this other art form, which is voir diring.
Yes.
The art of selecting jurors to serve on the jury.
Yes.
And each party is sort of cognizant of the other side's intent. And they probably have some idea at this point as to what their case is formulated around and what they're going to really focus on. So you can have the prosecuting attorney might get rid of a particular juror because they know that person is going to be very beneficial to the defense's case.
That's another great point. You sure you're not a lawyer, man? And you bring up some really great points. Because here's what's really interesting, man, is that, believe it or not, you can look at a particular potential juror's activities. You can look at their activities and sort of determine whether or not they're going to be a little more conservative as it relates to the case, or maybe a little bit more progressive. And so they look for all of those little keys to make a decision whether or not, hey, I want Todd on my jury because I think, hey, he's a property owner, which means that you have a certain perspective. You see what I'm saying? So it could be some positive things that way as well.
Yeah, unless they don't want a property owner that has a certain perspective, they might kick me right off. But last time I got selected for jury, I got picked, and I was surprised I stayed. Honestly, really, I thought I was going to get kicked off.
I'm just curious, what kind of case was it?
It was a attempted murder. Wow. It was a criminal case. Okay. Attempted murder, kidnapping, gang affiliation, and the discharging of a firearm. Wow. So it was 4 things, and they had gang enhancement on each one of those, which in Riverside County, gang enhancement.
That's pretty huge in terms of, if found guilty would be a lot of time, I would imagine.
Right. Yeah, and we did end up finding him guilty on 3 of those charges, but one of them we were hung on. And I think largely in part, maybe because of me, I don't know. It might have been my fault that we hung on the attempted murder.
Wow. Okay. So that was a criminal case.
It was a criminal case.
Wow. Okay. Oh.
Yeah, but it was the first time I'd ever served on a jury, so it was interesting, just seeing the whole thing play out in court. And like you said, I really liked that defense attorney, man. I thought he was fantastic. There were certain points where after he was done with his little speech, I just wanted to stand up and give him a standing ovation because he was great. He was a great.
So do you think that he connected to the other jurors like he did with you?
I don't think he connected to him as well. I don't know. Wow. And I feel like at certain points, especially when they're driving home a certain point, they're looking directly at the juror that they're really trying to, convince or get this concept into their head. And he was looking at me a lot.
So he knew that early on you were pretty much on his side.
I don't know if he knew that or not. But I think that the prosecuting attorney actually thought I was on her side quite a bit. Wow. Because I expected her to kick me right off because I know people in the DA's office here in Riverside, so I thought I was going to get kicked off just because of some conflict of interest or something. But I'm not personally involved with anybody in the DA, so I think she kept me around thinking I might be an ally for her. But unfortunately, I don't think she had a great case.
Well, that sounds like a very interesting experience. Do you think you would want to sit on the jury? What about a civil case, man? What about a case dealing with real estate?
I would love to sit on another jury. Actually, I think it was a good time. The case, the trial itself, I think was about 10 days. Wow. And then we were in deliberations for I think 3 or 2.5 or something like that.
That's a pretty good chunk of your time too. Man. Yeah, you're a busy guy.
Yeah, it's tough because I'm also trying to run a business. So sure. The nice thing is you get like a 2-hour lunch, so I was able to get a lot done during the lunch hour. Nothing I couldn't because you had to be there at like 7 in the morning or something. But I was able to get a lot done afterwards because I think we let out at 4, so I was able to sort of pace things out. Plus you get breaks during the day, so. It wasn't too bad. I expected it to be worse, but fortunately that was in January, which is also fairly slow for us anyway.
Sure.
So for those of you real estate investors out there that are expecting to be busy, just know that January and December are pretty low-key months because not a lot of people are working, especially during December.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of holidays and things. People are, everybody's got a potluck going on to the office and nobody's really working. So anyway, that's the trial process. In a nutshell.
But hopefully, man, people won't have that opportunity to have to be. You definitely don't want to be a defendant in a case.
No,
because that means that you're allegedly have done something wrong, and so and it can be pretty expensive.
Sure.
Obviously, the legal process, as we pretty much said before.
Yeah, and so going back a little bit too.
Sure.
During the crash, you had mentioned before that you were. Very, very active in your church, and sort of assisting people within the church to get some, free legal services because a lot of people were losing their homes, a lot of people lost jobs, things like that. So
absolutely, man, and I was telling you before that it kind of got extraordinarily busy, man, doing a lot of civil litigation. Trying to make money and the whole 9 yards. I have a 6 and 8 year old, and obviously, that keeps me busy. But one of the most fulfilling things that I've done over the last few years was to give my legal services for free at the church. And most of the issues that they were dealing with were loan modification issues. Many of them were losing their homes. Many of them were actually already in the foreclosure process. Some of them were in the NOD process, and they wanted to know, what do they do? How do they deal with it? Do they just walk away? Do they, just send their keys in to the lender and said, I'm walking away? And so trying to, help them navigate during that process was really fulfilling, because unfortunately, though, Todd, the state bar, which controls the attorneys here in California, many of them were taking advantage of people in these really sort of low places.
Right.
And so I think the state bar now has implemented a lot of laws to really protect the homeowners from attorneys.
Predatory attorneys.
Yeah, man, it's a really unfortunate thing, but that's true.
Yeah, you'd see them. You'd see billboards all over the place, that said like bankruptcy, $800 or something like that. And
Yes.
in a lot of cases, it had these people come out of pocket right up front with the money, and
exactly. I think they were charging people anywhere probably from $3,000 to $10,000 up front. And to my understanding now, the state bar has gotten involved, and so there's no upfront monies. And you have to be pretty much, as an attorney, to do it. You need to be certified with the state, with the state bar to make sure that you're doing the right things. And I think that's a good thing, actually.
Yeah, because bankruptcy before, because a lot of the rules on bankruptcy changed, and maybe we should quickly address what bankruptcy actually is, because a lot of people think bankruptcy means you have $0 in your checking account, but maybe you should explain it. But you could probably explain bankruptcy better than I can.
Well, you know what? Basically, with respect to bankruptcy, it depends on whether it's a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13. The Chapter 13 allows for a homeowner or for for the debtor to say, hey, I need, let's take a step back. I need to reorganize some of my, my finances. So let's come up with a plan. I want to make sure, I want to be responsible. So let's come up with a plan. So with the Chapter 13, that pretty much is what the deal is. Now on a Chapter 7, it pretty much will vitiate, or I should say, take away all of the debtor's credit. But oftentimes, Todd, it happens because people, a sickness, a job loss, and those things, they do occur. And so for that, I am a big proponent of utilizing or implementing bankruptcy laws appropriately. But as you know, or as you sort of said before, it can be used to sort of waste time, or I should say to just buy time so that you can kind of work some things out.
Yeah, because that's the other thing, is that sometimes you have these things, you might be coming up on a actual foreclosure sale date.
Yes.
And the home that you live in, you'd like to keep, you'd love to stay there. You got your kids in the school district.
Certainly.
You don't want to lose friends. Plus, it's embarrassing for a lot of people to lose their home. So,
absolutely.
The bankruptcy protection in a way is sort of like, we're restructuring our debt. Let's postpone this foreclosure sale.
Yes.
And let's see if we can come to some kind of an arrangement where we're all happy in this.
Yes.
And but a lot of people too, they didn't just have a foreclosure that they were facing. They were also facing repossession of their vehicles. They were facing large liens coming onto their personal accounts for a number of things, in addition to personal property. And a lot of people were just borrowing money left and right because it was being handed out left and right.
Absolutely. And they were taking advantage of it, and then it sort of it caught up to them. It did. It snowballed, and so they began to utilize some of the laws to sort of get out of things. And I understand the laws are there to utilize for the betterment of you and your family, but I really believe in utilizing them appropriately.
Yeah, and not overly using them, not just borrowing a bunch of stuff and then never paying a single dime towards anything, and then filing for bankruptcy and
exactly,
getting it all expunged.
Exactly. I was working with a potential client who they were a private money lender, and they had taken a second position on a particular property, with this particular buyer. He was an investor, and he was just, it was pretty sloppy. He had 3 or 4 or 5 properties out there, and so we were trying to work it out, but then I think he was going to file bankruptcy to sort of slow the process up. So those type of things, I want to get him in court. I want to get him in court. So
and some people too, they also have a lot of student debt, which is one of those things that's not protected.
I think you're correct.
In bankruptcy, you cannot actually get student debt, especially if it's underwritten by Ginnie Mae, I believe. I think some of the private student loans can actually be done away with in a bankruptcy, but if it's a Ginnie Mae loan, which is like 98% of them or something,
I think
like
you're correct. I think student loans, as well as some tax issues, are not they don't become they're not vitiated as a result of filing a bankruptcy.
Right. So if you have a student loan, I hope you got the degree to go with
Exactly.
it.
But interestingly enough, though, man, they are coming up with a lot of different products out there to address those issues. Working with benefit corps or nonprofit organizations. That's sort of a segue, so I can talk about my benefit corp along with Patrick Diamond. But yeah, so you can do certain things, and they will lower the payments because it is about maybe getting away from yourself and helping others. And so with with a lot of benefit corp and nonprofit situations, they will do away with that. So,
yeah.
You know.
So okay, let's talk a little bit about benefit corps.
Yay.
Since you want to segue into it,
That's my heart, man.
might as well
It
move
is.
on.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm
We,
sorry.
we don't want to talk about bankruptcy all day. It's depressing. It's
Yeah.
terrible. You can do it. It's available.
Sure.
Just be careful if people ask you to pay money up front. That's obviously a big red flag.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of good attorneys out there who will protect you with respect to reorganizing and restructuring your finances utilizing bankruptcy. So I think that's a good point.
Yeah, absolutely. So a benefit corp. I mean, I've never even heard of this. So I'm completely agreeing as in respect to this.
Yeah, sure, man. You know what? Basically, a benefit corp is somewhat of a hybrid, hybrid of a nonprofit and a for-profit. And what it pretty much does, Todd, is it as a for-profit, you need to be cognizant of your shareholders to make money. That's pretty much what your mission statement is, to make money.
So is the tax classification a 501c6?
Great question. I don't think that there really is a tax classification. Okay. You can just pretty much indicate that part of your mission may be social in nature, along with making money or making profit, but part of it is you could have a social agenda. For an example, to feed the homeless. You can be a part of some other maybe nonprofit organizations to make sure that some of the profit that you're generating for your for-profit will be used specifically for some of those benefits. So I think that's great.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of organizations that do a lot of charitable work, and it's sort of there are tax. Tax shelter, not tax shelters, but tax benefits for companies to donate money to different causes and things like that. But what if you want to be the cause? What if you do not want to put money towards another company that already does certain things?
Absolutely.
You may not like everything about, let's
Great
just use
point.
the Red Cross, for example, because they're a very large organization. Some people may not like everything the Red Cross does, and they feel that they could do it, they could do it better. So they should have the ability to do that, because otherwise we have a monopoly on charity.
Absolutely, totally agree. Man, several years ago, I was somebody told me about a company called Bridgeway Financials, and they were actually they had about $4 to $9 billion under management. And so I started reading their mission statement and what they were all about, and I was thinking about maybe investing a little bit into their situation, the few dollars that I had.
Sure.
And so, man, when I came upon their mission statement, Todd, it said they give away 50% of their profit to a nonprofit cause, building wells around the world, implementing educational programs in lower economic communities. And so that really, I've always been this kind of a guy to want to give away and to give back. But that really sort of changed my life. And that was about 3 years ago. I said, man, I want to give away more than just 10, 20, 30%.
Sure.
And I want to give away close to 50% if I can.
Yeah, that's a pretty hefty goal, really. I mean,
it is a hefty goal.
It's tough enough for most people to make just enough to get by, but to be able to think you can make double what you need and give away half of it, that's pretty tremendous. But the people that have the ability to do that, it sort of falls on their shoulders to be responsible for doing that.
And I like what you said about having control. It's something about paying a lot of taxes, and it's good. I'm all about the community or the government helping out.
Sure.
But I rather take my hard-earned money and put it in places that I want to do, because maybe I have a heart for homeless as opposed to something else that the government may sort of frame. And so I really do like the possibilities of having my own control.
Yeah, and some of those, the larger charitable organizations, they have a heavily political driven agenda in some cases.
Correct.
And some people may not side with their politics.
That's a great point.
And if you want to be able to donate to homeless people, it's not as easy as just going outside and giving a few bucks to a homeless guy. I mean, that's one way to do it, but when you want to do it on a grand scale, how do you really go about helping the homeless, that's not going to step on other organizations' toes.
It's a tough one. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Yeah, that's a great point. So, but yeah, so man, that's where my heart is, and so just trying to utilize the acquisition of real estate, and to sort of kind of do this hybrid thing, acquire as much real estate as possible, build up your portfolio, and then in some of those places or some of the homes that we acquire, put certain programs in there, and for like a nonprofit purpose. So it's sort of two things are happening. You're building up your portfolio as well as giving back.
Yeah. So in this case, you guys are buying a home and basically getting homeless people to move into these homes, and you do get subsidies from the state for doing these sorts of things.
Correct.
Which helps, obviously keep the lights on.
Yeah, and that's needed. Absolutely. But yeah, and I was working with another nonprofit organization a couple of years ago. It was started by they're older pastors, and so they really had a heart for people, and so they actually at one point I think they were able to purchase homes for $1, and then they were putting homeless people in those homes as well.
Yeah, sometimes cities or counties will have a surplus of housing stock.
Sure.
That they'll end up selling off to certain
Right.
organizations
Right.
because they want them to be used for homeless, something like that. And you'll hear that they sold it for $1.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stipulations that
Yes,
come with those.
yes, there are. Yeah.
So are you guys dealing with any homes like that right now, or?
Currently, no. Right now, one of we're involved with a couple of projects or several projects, but one of the projects that's really kind of close to my heart is acquiring a bed and breakfast and then utilizing it as a wellness center to deal with alcohol and drug issues.
Okay.
And so yeah, that's where we are right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So doing with it's sort of like a rehab, but
It is a rehab. Yeah.
now is this a resort rehab like they have out in Malibu, or is it
Quite frankly, yes. No, yeah, and that's the water, man, and that's fantastic. I mean, water brings about serenity and whatnot. But the facility, or I should say, the property that we have, Todd, is located in Wrightwood, California, and it's nestled in the mountains. So obviously, well, it's a ski town during the winter months, and so we're starting to do some wellness conferences there. But we thought, you know what? Let's sort of combine the two. There's a lot of attention on that recently with implementing wellness with health, with getting healthy with respect to alcohol and drugs. And so ours is in the mountains, and so I'm pretty excited about it.
So yeah, and up in the mountains, it's nice and cool in the wintertime. And
It is.
nice and cool in the summertime.
As a matter of fact, Todd, last week when it was 112 here in Riverside, it was like 75, 80 degrees there in Wrightwood. I'm sure you would have loved to have been up there, man.
Why were we here at that time? We should have been up there.
Man, when I looked at my phone, I go, what? Absolutely. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, bless you.
Thank you. So the wellness thing that you guys are doing, this is not uncommon. It's not unheard of. There's a lot of people that operate these sort of wellness resorts. But it could also just be people that want to get away from the stresses of it all.
Absolutely.
You don't have to necessarily be an alcoholic or a drug user.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Studies are showing that sometimes just getting out of your environment, be it for a short period of time. Now, obviously, the longer stays are a little bit more productive or effective. But if you can just get away, man, for a few days and just sort of, get with yourself, and it can provide a lot of health, a lot of healthiness for you.
Yeah. And so what sort of things, what sort of activities are people doing when they go up to a place like this?
We have yoga therapists. We actually have a recreational therapist who is involved with the zip lining component of things. We have life and business coaching, massage therapy, hot tub, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, so it sounds great. I just want to go there and,
Hey, man, what are you doing next week, man? I can get you and your wife up there next week, man.
Next week. Well, next week, let's see. I got to think, when are we actually airing this show?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
No, it sounds great. I definitely do want to go up there at some point. I got 2 young kids too, just like you do. So sometimes finding the time where a babysitter to have an extended stay somewhere like that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah.
And I don't know, are kids allowed to go? Are you guys kid friendly or?
Yes, it is kid friendly. The facility that we have right now, it's called the Rhinestone Rose. It is a little bit more for couples. But it does have some family components because there's a cabin attached to it that's really, really ideal for families.
Okay.
And so yeah, we do keep that in mind.
Yeah. So then kids can get out there and zip line and
zip line and do their things. And my little daughter wants to do it, but she's not 90 pounds, and so she's really upset. Yeah,
is that the minimum weight? 90
yeah,
pounds?
you got to be 90 pounds, and so
otherwise you just won't slide down.
Exactly. She's mad at me for it. They're like, well, hey, you know. In another year or two, maybe.
Yeah, you can just drink some soda pop, get some.
Yeah, I hear you.
Eat all your Halloween candy, you'll be 90 pounds.
She will be, yeah.
So that's cool. And so you guys are focusing up in Wrightwood on that. Any other kind of cool real estate stuff you guys are doing right now?
Yeah. Also in Wrightwood, we just acquired a property that we are demoing. There's already a structure on there, a cabin, about 600 square feet. Okay. And so we're renovating that. And then, Todd, I'm really excited about this. I mean, I got so excited about it because Patrick is so excited about it, about putting, it'll be sort of like a glass treehouse behind the existing structure. And then we're in the process, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed, we're in the process of doing pretty much the same thing up in Arrowhead.
Oh.
So we'll know probably maybe today, whether or not we acquire that particular piece of property.
Oh, that would be cool because I know you go on like Airbnb, and it's not about that you just want to stay in Wrightwood. That's not what the Airbnb is about. It's about the experience that you're going to get.
Absolutely, man, the experience. And as a matter of fact, Patrick is so into the experience. I mean, he's done quite well, working within in the Airbnb situation. But he is really interested in maybe putting together something like a shoe or something.
Okay.
Absolutely. He pretty much what you just said. It's about the experience, man.
Just to build a big old Mother Hubbard house.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I told him if he's going to build a shoe, I think I want to stay in a stiletto or something.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
You make that kind of a sexy destination. Go to Vegas and stay in the stiletto house.
That's not a bad idea, man. Not right outside of Vegas and have a stiletto shoe house. Yeah.
Sounds like the type of thing you'd see in Sin City. They might even rent it out for porn.
Whoa, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Got to be careful with that.
Yeah, got to be careful with that one.
Yeah, I don't know if Vegas has any kind of short-term. I'm sure they do because they got such a hotel industry there.
That's a good point.
I wonder if they have any specific regulation. I mean, I don't do short-term rental. I'm not currently in that market, so I don't know a whole lot about it.
Yeah.
And
my partner, man, is an expert in it. He's been doing it for years, and it is all about the experience, and so he's really working diligently on that.
Yeah, that's a big deal because so like you don't want to just stay in a house and it's just a house, and so I've stayed in some Airbnbs before, and some of the owners are just sort of like, hey, it's my condo or whatever, and there's no experience involved with it. It's because it's in Beverly Hills or it's in the Gaslamp District in San Diego. Is the only reason we kind of went with those. But there are certain people that want that experience where they're going to go up to the mountains and stay in a treehouse. That's a cool experience that how many people can actually say, I stayed in this treehouse in Wrightwood, and it was,
or in Lake Arrowhead. Hopefully, be keeping our fingers crossed on that. Yeah, absolutely. No, you're right. It was a time, man, back in the past, when I would go on vacations or try to get away, it was always, I would just immediately go to the water. But it's just so many other opportunities, like in the mountains with a potential tree house and things of that nature. So it is about a lot of different experiences.
Now, this one that you have in Wrightwood, is it actually in a tree?
That's a great question. It will be utilizing the elements of the tree. It's going to be on stilts, so it'll be wrapped around the tree pretty much. But you're right. It's not actually in the tree. But it's the illusion that it's in the tree. Of course.
Yeah, because you also have to make it structurally sound.
Exactly.
And trees grow, and trees kind of die.
Exactly. So there's a beautiful hill, a beautiful slope with the trees, and so it's just like perfect for it. But you're right. It's not actually literally in the tree.
Yeah, because that might concern some people out there thinking like, oh man, trees sway in the wind, and do I really want to stay in a house that's going to be moving? Might be like sleeping on a boat.
It'll be structurally sound, and we've already had meetings with some architects and things of that nature to make sure that everything is done according to plans.
Right. So that's key. So, legally speaking, when you put together a short-term rental contract, let's assume you want to do it outside of Airbnb or Vrbo or one of the other websites that do short-term rentals. Would you recommend that anybody try to do this independently and sort of have their own booking system like an actual bed and breakfast?
No, I think it's really good to have as much assistance as possible. the contracts, they really need to be extraordinarily inclusive. And even with the short-term rental situation, you think, what, 2 or 3 days or even shorter, or maybe a week or two, but still certain things can pop up as well. So I think it's good to have other OTAs, the online, what am I trying to say?
Platforms.
Yeah, the online platforms to do a lot of your bookings. I think it just sort of gives you a lot of protection, because I am about protection.
Of course.
Protection is so important, and especially here in California, it's such a litigious place. So I think it's best to do whatever you can to lessen the exposure of any type of potential lawsuit.
Yeah, because then you have protection on both sides. You have protection for the property owner,
right.
But you also have protection for the. Do you call them tenants? What do you call people that stay in a short-term rental?
What is? I think we utilize the term tenants, but there's another term that it seemed to have escaped me.
Like
but,
I've heard people say stays. Like I've had a number of stays.
Yeah, Patrick, my partner, he uses that term. Yeah, stays. Yeah.
So the people that stay in short-term rentals, we don't have a cool name for them right now. Somebody out there probably has one they can tell us. But so the people that stay in those, they also might face certain things too, because there are health and safety issues that you like. If you go to a hotel, I mean, they're cleaning the thing before you get there, but in some short-term rentals, this might be somebody's home that they're just not home, and they're letting people stay there while they're not home. But the place could be kind of a mess. It might have been a while since they last cleaned their tub.
Exactly. So you can see where there's a lot of you have the community that you have to be. The community has concerns. The owner of the property obviously have some exposure and concerns, as well as the stays. So it really does. You got to have a really sound agreement to make sure that everything is according to plan. And even with a sound agreement, man, there still can be issues.
Yeah, and there inevitably will be. So it's more about protecting yourself against the issues that are going to come up.
Absolutely.
Than trying to, just prevent every single issue, because you can't prevent every single thing that could potentially happen.
Unfortunately, you can't. And then you say, well, hey, I'll have insurance. But as you know, Todd, insurance, unfortunately, the thing that you believe that you're insured for, there may be some issues there. So you want to be as careful as possible.
Yeah, and insurance brings up a whole other,
It does.
Because insurance, you might not have the right policy. If you have just a standard homeowner's policy and you have people staying in your short-term rental, that policy may not cover the.
And oftentimes it does not. And so therefore you need to make sure that you communicate you got to be open and honest, be very transparent with what you're going to be doing, and so that you can get the appropriate policy to cover it. Otherwise, you're exposing yourself.
Right, because the insurance company wants to make sure that you have the right policy in place, and they want to make sure they're charging you accordingly for the added risk that you're bringing. Because if you're having new people coming in all the time, these are people that are unfamiliar with that weird step you have in the dining room.
Absolutely.
These are people that aren't familiar with your property and the weird things around it that you might be familiar with as a homeowner. So you might have a lot of people trip and fall. I think I was talking to Patrick the other day, or maybe it might have been Mary Ann or somebody, and they were saying that they were walking around one of their properties and just completely fell right on their face.
That actually did happen to Mary Ann. She was looking at one of the properties that we were considering to acquire for an STR. And unfortunately, she took quite a fall.
Yeah.
And I don't want to laugh either.
I know. Yeah. No one wants to laugh at her, but
yeah. But no, yeah. So, but you're right. That brings up a great point. You really have to. You got to protect yourself, man, and it's difficult, but you really have to do the best that you can.
Yeah, and it's tricky too, because usually the person writing the contract, carries, like you said, the onus of the contract. So if you have the owner of the property is usually the one writing these, they're the ones that are most exposed. And there are people out there, I won't say this is everybody, but there are people that specifically look for lawsuits. Like they try to find a way they could hurt themselves on their property. And maybe if you put up cameras around the perimeter, you'd be able to say, here's this person hurting themselves on the property, but you can see they actually just threw themselves on the ground and didn't trip at all.
Absolutely. And no, that's a great point too. And so that, again, that was another great point of putting a camera up, because that's a great element to make sure, because you got eyes there. Right. And it's important to have as many eyes on the property as possible. But what's interesting to a lot of people, and I understand, they want to save money, so they'll go get a lot of pre-printed contracts, which are for the most part, many of them are good.
Yeah.
But when you have a specific or a special property, you need to make sure, maybe you need to put an addendum on it, you know, with respect to, like you were talking about, certain special steps or things of that nature. So you just want to make sure that you are as inclusive as possible with respect to your property.
Sure.
So that way you'll protect yourself. And that way you'll make sure then that if there's insurance issues, it'll probably be covered.
Yeah, and then do you know of any kind of special inspections or inspectors or anything like that that would come out to a short-term rental to make sure that your property is compliant with safety standards, anything like that?
No, but to my understanding, if you were to get insurance, I think they would probably make sure that you have the appropriate inspector. But in terms, I mean, that's a great point. I'm not sure whether or not they have a special group of inspectors specifically for short-term rentals.
That could be a good business for somebody out there
That could
looking
be a
to get
great
in.
business, man. You give me some good ideas here, man.
Yeah, we got to end this interview soon, so you can get out there
I'm
and
gonna make a call to a couple of insurance companies and see if we can kind of implement that as a new policy there, man.
because it would be, in one way too, it'd be nice to have somebody come out because. Like you said, like I said, I might have a house with this weird step in the dining room, and I know about it, but I'm not thinking about that.
And you want that step there because that may give you that special
Sure.
experience
Yeah.
for that stay. So that's really needed. So that's a great point, man.
But having an inspector go out, that
Yes.
he could go out and say, like, you know what, maybe you should put some green tape or something on this so it's a little more visible.
Yes.
It's something just kind of make it more aware because for somebody to minimize their
Yes.
potential for litigation is obviously key. And
That's critical to me, but I can kind of understand not wanting to do it because you want that experience. But to your point, you really should do it to protect. Because you don't want to be exposed, man.
Sure. Yeah, you might have like a sharp edge on your countertops, and your countertops look beautiful, and you don't want to put some kind of weird rubber thing on there that's going to protect people from banging their head on it or something. But
Yes.
I'm sure there's a certain amount of like, especially when it comes to insurance, it's about liability. Like who's really liable? Did the owner put these sharp countertops in intentionally because they wanted to hurt people? Probably not.
Absolutely, probably not, or absolutely not.
Yeah.
But a lot of because it's interesting. Just like technology, things are happening so fast. Like STR, who would have thought that Airbnb would have exploded like it did? So a lot of the experiences in life are moving faster than the law is catching up to it.
Yeah.
So that's why you got to be really careful, and you got to make. And I do think insurance is a huge component of cutting off your liability or protecting your exposure.
Yeah, I know a lot of cities when it comes to regular rental properties, they'll have annual inspections that they make the owners pay for, which I don't know if I like that or not. But
but it's another level of protection, though,
sure.
right?
Yeah, they have the fire department come in, they'll
Yeah.
check their fire extinguishers, make sure
Yeah.
they're still good and charged. There's a safety element to that because. Let's face it, not every rental property owner is a great rental property owner. You have a lot of these slumlords, so to speak. So,
Right.
I think that same element also exists in the short-term rental market.
I agree.
And like you said, it's, when new technology comes in, the legislation has to kind of catch up. And when it does, it typically is going to be overreaching, where it's going to be too preventative and too limiting, and then you sort of dial it back from there. But
That's a great point. And then, you're right, because then it impacts the owner of the property who can make some pretty good money because it is about protection. It is, but it's also an economic thing as well. Right?
Yeah, and it's a lot of people think that short-term rentals are just there to sort of go against the hotel industry. People are like the hotel industry owner or the people in that industry are thinking that Airbnb is just a way for people to stay somewhere cheaper, and they're just trying to circumvent the hotels and all those sort of laws, which I don't know if I really buy into that whole argument, but because it's more about the experience.
It is about the experience, and that's a great point too. Because I remember reading an article about a year ago, and many of the hotel industry is very, very concerned about losing a lot of ground because now wellness, along with not wellness, but the short-term rental industry has it's tapping up close to $1 trillion.
Yeah,
so it's pretty amazing.
But I mean, in a way, it's going to help push hotels to try a little harder, because I've been to a lot of hotels and they stink. I mean, it's just a room, and there's nothing exciting about them. I seem to remember when I was a kid that hotels had more stuff to do.
I agree with you, man.
You know,
Actually, I put myself through law school, and I worked in I think the Hilton Hotel, if I can, and it was fantastic. I thought the experience there was by the LAX. It was the LAX, and I thought I enjoyed working there because it seemed like a very good experience.
Yeah, and a lot of the older hotels, though, usually have like a restaurant in them, a bar.
Absolutely.
There's stuff for people to do downstairs at night. But some of these newer hotels you go in them, and they're just they're just bed factories. It seems like people are just there to stay the night.
And so I agree with you again. I think it's really good. It'll just make it'll make things better. It's you're being challenged by the Airbnb industry, so maybe they'll just get better.
Hopefully, that's the hope anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's kind of like Uber, with taxis. A lot of people, didn't want to use Uber for some reason or other. But Uber really has disrupted the taxi industry.
Absolutely.
And I think with that, Uber became this sort of entrepreneurial thing people could do, where they can make money on the car they already own, and in their free time they can just go out and drive people around.
Yeah.
It's a nice thing to do. But it's also cheaper than than it would be to take a taxi.
That's a great analogy, man. Uber with short-term rentals. I'm sorry, that was a great analogy. I agree with you.
Yeah, it's true. And so a lot of people might go on vacation, and you might have a home, and you want to go on vacation and maybe supplement some of that cost of your vacation by renting your home out for that week that you're gone.
Yes.
And it's almost like a house swap, except you're not swapping houses necessarily.
Yeah. No, that's a good thing. I agree with you. Yeah.
So we got only a few minutes left, but before we cut, we should. Are there any things coming up, legally speaking, that real estate investors should be aware of?
Well, you know what, man. One of the things, and it's not necessarily new, but man, I think it is fantastic. And anytime that I get an opportunity to speak to a real estate investor, I want to just mention the word 1031 exchange.
Yeah.
Todd, I think it is one of the most fascinating and beautiful piece of laws out there. Because even right now, I have a piece of real estate, and then I'll be upgrading or trying to acquire another piece of real estate, and I can utilize the capital gains to do that. I think, so for me, if you said, hey man, what's the last words that you want to talk about? Or not necessarily talk about, but at least say, is 1031 exchange.
And that's an episode in and of itself there. But real quick, I guess, as it relates to short-term rental, because when you do a 1031 exchange, you're taking the gains, and rather than paying tax on the gain when you sell a property, you're moving the gains into another property.
Correct.
And then when you die, the gains get caught up to the property value, and your heirs basically do not have to pay the gain at that point if they decide to sell. But if they continue from there, that's where their basis
and increasing their portfolio. Yes.
Yeah. So as a short-term rental, because when you do 1031 exchange, it has to be a like-for-like transfer. So if you're selling, let's just say what you have right now is a rental property, could you move that into a short-term rental property where the intent is for it to be a short-term rental? Would that be considered like-for-like?
Yes, I think some of the, in my opinion, yes. People have a hard time understanding the like-for-like, as long as it's real estate and it's for an investment purpose. Oftentimes, people think that they get sort of mixed up with like fix and flip, because and the IRS is a little bit gray in that. They'll say, oh, you got to have the property for a year and a day. Some say it's 2 years. So, but it's hey, just to be safe, keep it for a year.
Yeah.
Yes, you can do that.
And I've heard people say intent.
Yeah, intent is huge.
Where I bought the house intending to make it into a rental, but it was just so dang profitable as a flip. I just flipped it and 1031.
It's a great point. Deal. Absolutely.
But I've heard that I think the IRS has these rules where if you just had the intent to rent a property, ended up renting 15 properties one year, they might be a little.
There will be suspect. Yeah, because here, how do you find intent? Oftentimes, you find intent in the facts. So if you can kind of play around. I don't want to say play around with the facts, but the facts are present with respect to what your intent is. I think you have a pretty good shot. But I think 1031 exchange is really fantastic for real estate investors, and be it for short-term rentals as well.
Yeah, so I wonder if we can tie that into a benefit corp in some way, sort of moving the thing down the road. And I think maybe we should look into a 501c6, because I think that might actually fit that. But, I might be wrong. Yeah, we looked into them not that long ago as it pertains to the investment club.
Oh, okay. No,
because we thought maybe that would be a good spot, because the club isn't necessarily not-for-profit, but it's not really for profit either.
Oh, okay.
So, because we're giving back to the community with the club.
Yeah, and the thing with the Benefit Corp, it's such a new product, if you will, here in California that they don't really know. You know what I mean? Yeah, because I've done a lot of research here and there. They don't really know. So the thing is, you can have a dual mission: make money and have a social agenda at the same time. And I think that's fantastic.
That's awesome. And that about does it for us this week. So thank you all for tuning in to the Flip Flop Investor Show. We'll see you again right here Thursday at 4 next week. I want to thank my guest, Larry Shelton, for coming on.
Thanks a lot for having me, Todd.
Absolutely. And we'll see you all again next week. Have a good one. Take care.
I'm Tom Busby, CNBC. Inflation is up, and that's got Wall Street a little bit worried. Consumer prices rose more than forecast in August because of higher prices at the gas pump, higher home prices, and higher rents. With inflation at 1.9% this year, just a hair under the Federal Reserve's target, some people are worried the Fed could hike rates again this year. Despite that, the Dow today notching another record high, adding 45 points. The Nasdaq down 31. Google now facing a lawsuit from 3 former employees, all women, who say the search giant discriminated against women in pay and promotions. Google denies the charges. Macy's taking on 86,000 temporary workers this holiday season. That's a little bit more than it hired a year ago. And Office Depot joining Best Buy, saying they'll no longer sell the antivirus software made by Russia's Kaspersky Labs after the federal government yesterday banned all agencies from using it on worries about national security. Tom Busby, CNBC.
Not available in all states. Hey, Carl, how is it you're always golfing? I thought you owned a business.
I own a Reese & Irvy's robot franchise, Bob.
Robots? What do they do?
They serve 7 flavors of delicious frozen yogurt in just 60 seconds with a choice of 6 tasty toppings. I've got robots in malls, movie theaters, and hospitals, and the franchisor secured these locations for me.
Sounds so easy.
Yep, managing my robots is simple. Each takes about 2 hours of maintenance a week, leaving me plenty of time to practice my short game.
Oh, nice shot. Looks like I need to get some Reese & Irvy's robots.
Easiest employees you'll ever have. Just go to FroyoFranchising.com. Reese & Irvy's will supply everything you need. They even secure you high-traffic locations. Hey, where are you going?
To learn more about a Reese & Irvy's franchise opportunity.
To learn more about your Reese & Irvy's Froyo robot franchise opportunity, go now to FroyoFranchising.com and use promo code 2828. FroyoFranchising.com, promo code 2828. That's FroyoFranchising.28.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
NBC News Radio. I'm Lisa Carter. President Trump is once again calling out Arizona Senator John McCain for killing the Republican health care plan. Trump telling reporters aboard Air Force One today that Republican McCain's no vote on the slimmed-down Obamacare repeal came out of nowhere and was a very unpleasant surprise. Trump then added that if Republicans don't stick together, he's going to have to do more and more with Democrats. Trump made the comments while returning from a tour to view the Hurricane Irma damage in Florida. Meanwhile, new details emerging in the investigation into the deaths of 8 people at a Florida nursing home after Hurricane Irma.
The initial investigation has determined the facility had some power. However, the building's air conditioning system was not fully functional.
A Hollywood Police Department spokeswoman says the Hollywood Hills Rehabilitation Center was using portable air conditioning units. More than 140 patients were evacuated from the home after they were found in sweltering conditions yesterday. Missouri's governor is calling out the National Guard ahead of a verdict in the murder trial of a former St. Louis police officer. Governor Eric Greitens saying today he's committed to protecting everyone's constitutional right to protest peacefully while also protecting people's lives, homes, and communities. A judge expected to rule tomorrow in the bench trial of former police officer Jason Stockley, who is white, charged with murdering African-American Anthony Smith in 2011. The suspect in a deadly high school shooting in Washington state is expected to stand trial as an adult.
That young man was carrying an AR-15 and a handgun. Thank God he had jammed that AR up so badly that it was not going to function.
At a news conference today, the Spokane County Sheriff saying the 15-year-old boy will likely be charged with premeditated murder. The teen allegedly walked into Freeman High School and opened fire yesterday, killing 1 student and wounding 3 others. You're listening to the latest from NBC News Radio.
Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you with startup capital, business strategy, sales and marketing, and establishing your company with a physical location or on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea, the American Business Trust Company can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, you may visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's ABTRUSTCO.com, or call them at 657-600-1876. That's the American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today. They can help your business right away.
Welcome to the Sports Circus from fabulous Las Vegas, sunny Southern California, Honolulu, Hawaii, Phoenix, Arizona, Memphis, Tennessee, Little Rock, Arkansas. We're naming them all today, folks. Actually, not all of them. And also the Buffalo, Toronto, and Rochester, New York, Niagara Falls area, too. That includes Hamilton, Ontario, and Mississauga. Right, so those are all of our locations, along with a whole bunch more. You can listen on NBC Sports anywhere in this country, in those places and beyond, and also on SB Nation right here in Las Vegas. That would be 670 The Score, KMZQ, and also on Time Warner Cable Oceanic, Time Warner Cable in Honolulu and throughout the Hawaiian Islands, over also on KPHI. So, folks, we're everywhere right now. And I'm your ringmaster, Sal. I'm here with Long Beach Lenny, our co-host, and also Colonel Bucky, who is running the board for us, also gives us his political feedback from every time to time, right?
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good with that. Okay, also, and today's show is brought to you by the American Business Trust Company, specializing in sales and marketing, corporate strategy, investment capital, startup consulting, you name it, they do it. Give them a call at 657 area code 600-1876. That's 657-600-1876 for all your business needs, or go to abtrustco.com. All righty. Lenny, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Sal. You know, in the words of my friend Billy Blanks, you know, any day above ground is a good day.
Well, we like that. It's supposed to be a good day, right? All right. On a better note, we certainly want to welcome all of our friends that are listening here in Las Vegas, and they're attending the Mr. Olympia event over at the Orleans Hotel and the convention center over there. Pretty exciting stuff. In fact, today we're going to have a couple of special guests from that event. We're going to have 7-time American Strongest Woman, 3-time world champion Kristen Rhodes. About a round of applause for her. And also strongman champion Johnny, I want to say it right, it's Wisinzo. Johnny Wisinzo. Okay, so sorry, folks. I want to make sure I get it right. I don't want to mess anything up. I mean, these are the strong people. You know, the last thing you want is get punched in the mouth, and then I have to call Legal Shield,
Yeah.
right? And then you start losing chiclets, and I say, you know, I need legal protection for less than $1 a day, right?
Yeah, you better pronounce that name right. I saw him lifting, 4 tires off an SUV.
Yes. Something crazy like that.
At the same time.
Right. That's on either side.
Yeah.
Either side of the bar. I mean, it's like the guy was doing the clean on an axle of a dually times 2. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so Lenny, that's who we have on today, and they're going to be on in just a little bit here. And I know every day we come across different stories and silly things. And you know, I want to start this off today. I know you wanted to talk about the other thing with the ESPN thing and the problems that they were having. But let's start something off a little bit different. And let's push that back a little bit, maybe to the third or fourth segment. So I was just talking to the kettlebell. You remember Michelle Latour from Kettlebell Sanctuary, who had come in there? She's the champion kettlebell swinger. Clean, jerk, snatch, all that stuff.
Jerk. Yeah,
and the snatch, right?
Right, and the snatch.
Right. That's their moves.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, we were talking about fantasy sports. And she was telling me, her daughter's a soccer player and this and that. I'm like, what else do we have fantasy in? I think we have it in golf. We have it in all your big sports. We have it in soccer as well. But you know what, Lenny? I want to come up with something. I want to think about where else we can utilize the fantasy sports idea. So let me ask you, if you could take the fantasy sports model and implement it either in a sport or in life, where would you put it?
Fantasy, I would definitely put a fantasy sports league in competitive eating. That's where I would put it. I absolutely. I'd put it in competitive eating because you could separate it in different categories of food. They have different food categories for different point totals. Just like, you get different types of scoring in football depending on, if it's a field goal or if it's a touchdown from a wide receiver or whatnot. So if somebody has a dessert, somebody has the Twinkies, somebody can devour 72 Twinkies in 10 minutes with or without water. It doesn't matter.
Right, but they have to have expectations. I mean, you have to be able to assign a point value. So we're expecting them to eat 78 Twinkies, right? And that would be for them to get their expected point value, right? So,
sure.
But how do you lose points besides not performing? Like in football, I mean, and like the defense, if they allow, a crap load more points, you end up in the negative.
Yeah. What happened to me last Thursday with the Patriots? -9.
That's why I brought it up.
Yeah.
Of course. And, of course, for all those people that want to know why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah, there it is.
There would be one bag of red vines right there, which I have two more handy-dandy in the bag.
Hey, if I may here, since we're talking about competitive eating, I want to congratulate Matt Stoney, a champion eater. Yesterday, he performed something that most normal humans can't do. 4 Big Macs, 4 large fries, and 4 large milkshakes in 5 minutes and 31 seconds.
Wow.
Now, that is pretty impressive.
And that would be the 12 beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, bacon, onion on the sesame seed bun, right?
Yeah, times 4.
Times 4.
And then 4 large fries.
Right. Those are really tall fries, Lenny.
Yeah.
Really tall.
And 4 milkshakes.
I'm telling you right now, when I was in my 20s, I was a skinny schnuck. I wasn't this 5'10", 220 of twisted steel and sex appeal. I was not that guy. When I was 5'10" and 135 pounds, I was like Shaggy off of Scooby-Doo. I could get a sandwich that was like 4 feet high, compress that thing, and just eat it. So Matt Stoney would definitely have a time here with the voice of the people, neck and neck, sitting there, 4 Big
Shaggy had a long neck.
And fries, and that straggly goatee and stuff. Not even a chance.
Now you just have a full.
Definitely.
Shaggy was the first to have it. Now you're just trying to copy him.
He had the what?
He already had that stubble. He had kind of like that goatee, and now you already have that. Just like Bucky, you both got circles around your mouth.
That's true, but remember, Shaggy didn't have a mustache. He just had that straggle. It wasn't even a full goatee. It was just like this hair that looked like the same stuff that sprouts off of Linus's hair off of the Peanuts gang there. Just a little bit of hair straggling out of Shaggy's chin.
I told Bucky to shave his.
Yeah.
I told Bucky to shave his. I told Bucky to shave his because I think he'd become more eligible for the masses.
Oh, you think I look old with the goatee?
Well, all the gray shows through there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I'm just saying, man.
Nobody said that you looked old with the goatee. We're just trying to figure out and help you, and you should just look at that and say, guys, I'll do whatever it takes.
Well, that's what he says. That's what he says to the dates that he goes out on.
Well, I'm glad the mayor didn't have time to get down to my bio yesterday after what happened to Lenny.
Right. Yeah, Lenny got his clock cleaned yesterday by Mayor Carolyn Goodman. That was really funny.
It certainly did. Sal, I can hear on the line here that we have a few chimes in. I think that we might have some guests that are on the line right now.
That we
They
do.
can identify themselves.
That we do. And let's go ladies first.
Hi, this is Kristen Rhodes.
Hey, Kristen. Kristen, tell everybody about yourself. Quickly.
Well, I'm here in Vegas this weekend competing at the Strongest Woman in the World competition. I'm a 7-time America's Strongest Woman winner, and I've won the World Championships a few times, and I'm here to take another title.
Pretty impressive. Wow. Okay, now we've got about 20 seconds for our other guests. Johnny, are you there?
I'm here.
All right, Johnny, give everybody the 10-second on yourself, and we're going to go to commercial break right away.
10 seconds. I'm Johnny Wajcicki, New Jersey's strongest man, ready to compete in the Strongman Corporation's America's Strongest Man at the Olympia tomorrow.
Nice, nice. All right, folks, we're going to head over to a commercial break for just a few minutes, and we're going to come back with our two very strong guests, and hopefully they're not punching anybody in the mouths. Otherwise, they're going to have to call Legal Shield at 213 what was it, 245-1305. Yeah, I've said that number a few times. All right, folks, we're going to be back in just a few minutes on Sports Circus. Don't go anywhere.
Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you with startup capital, business strategy, sales and marketing, and establishing your company with a physical location or on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea, the American Business Trust Company can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, you may visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's ABTRUSTCO.com, or call them at 657-600-1876. That's the American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today. They can help your business right away. So, you want to be in show business. Do people tell you that you're really funny, you have a great personality, and you should have your own talk show? Many of us have been told that, but we don't know how to get started. It's easier than you think. Let the pros at Cali Vegas give you a free talent evaluation. Call 949-445-1119 and learn how quickly you can create, produce, and host your very own talk show. Imagine not having to sit in traffic every day, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job. Get started in television or radio today with your free talent evaluation from Cali Vegas. Call 949-445-1119 or visit them online at calivegas.com. Make your dream come true today and create your new career and learn how to become a television or radio star with the help of Cali Vegas. 949-445-1119. Call now.
All right, welcome back to the Sports Circus. Colonel Bucky here along with the Ringmaster Sal and Long Beach Lenny. This segment is brought to you by Erica Hervel, bringing you a wealth of expertise. Erica is an expert in the sizzling, red-hot real estate market right here in Southern Nevada. You can give her a call, 702-376-3464 for your free consultation. That's Erica Hervel, 702-376-3464, the real estate expert who absolutely works for you. And we are officially back here on the Sports Circus.
Okay, folks. So, again, I'm your Ringmaster Sal. I'm here with Long Beach Lenny, our co-host. Colonel Bucky just did the read there for Erica Hervel. And we've got a couple of special guests that are some really, really exceedingly strong people. They're here in Las Vegas for, well, I'll tell you what, I'll let them tell you. And we'll let the ladies go first. So we have Kristen Rhodes. Kristen, refresh everybody who you are and why you're here and what you're going to go home with.
So I'm here at the Olympia Sports Festival this weekend. I'm a 7-time winner of America's Strongest Woman, ranked #1 in the United States, and have been #1 in the world for quite some time. I lost last year, but I'm coming back to get it. I'm here for the Strongest Woman in the World competition this weekend, and I plan on taking that title home with me again.
That's very exciting. And so now we have another guest, right? We have another guest here. And Johnny, why don't you introduce yourself again so all the people that tuned in during the commercial break, they can know exactly who you are and why you're here and what you're going home with.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on here. I'm here in Vegas competing at the Strongman Corporation's America's Strongest Man. It's at the Olympia weekend at the Convention Center on Friday and Saturday. I'm from New Jersey. I'm New Jersey's Strongest Man. I turned pro in 2012 at the Dallas Europa, taking the championship there. And tomorrow and Saturday, I'm looking to beat the best pros in America.
Now, I've seen photos of both of you with, it looks like, an enormous barbell with giant truck or tires. And it looked like an axle from a dually, like with an extra set of wheels on them. Pretty impressive.
Well, that's exactly what it was.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right. So I saw the both of you, and in fact, we had our webmaster post photos of the both of you basically doing the same thing, and it's just nuts. I just think about the sheer size of this. It's maddening. I can't imagine how much those weigh, but it was a pretty impressive photo, I can tell you. So, Kristen, I want you to tell me how many tires on either side because I don't really know what the protocol is for this. Tell me how many tires, what's your record for amount of tires, and then Johnny, tell me the same.
I believe the picture that you're looking at, I think, had 2 tires on each side, but that axle weighed 600 pounds that I picked up.
Wow. Right. So if you're stuck in snow, I mean, Kristen could pick the truck up and get you out of snow. That's hilarious.
Yeah, move it out of the way. Exactly.
So Johnny, didn't you have 3?
Yeah, I think mine was close to 900.
Oh, my God.
I think there was some helium in some of the tires. I don't know. Didn't feel like it was that heavy.
Yeah. So now when they inflate the tires, I mean, are we subject to like the deflate gate like we saw in football with the deflated tires?
I don't see it much, but the tires are actually have like the tires are really just to show people how big the implement is. They actually add weight inside the tires or on the outside of the tires to really get them that heavy.
Right. So when you two are doing your competition, now they're using jumbo plates, like we see in your big competitions. How much is each one of those plates? Because on the gym they're 45 pounds for the regular ones, but those look like the supersonic 90-pound or bigger ones.
I think those tires were weighed in, I believe, at 100 pounds apiece. And that, I believe, I can't recall, but I think those were 100 pounds apiece. And then, like Johnny said, they add more weight in there just to make it the thing overall to make it heavier.
Okay. So Johnny, when you're competing, and Kristen, when you're competing, when you're indoors doing your picking up this basically an axle, it's the same kind of thing, right? With these jumbo plates on them. How much does each plate weigh?
It really depends on, the competition or the training. Like, it's just like any other gym lift we look at. We warm up with a lighter weight, adding weight until we get serious. That's a few hundred pounds for us, and then we just take it to the limit. But we're picking up things that shouldn't be picked up. So we're picking things up around anywhere from 300, 400, 500, 600 pounds and up. Like, the best part about our sport for people that watch is it's fun to watch people pick up big and unusual stuff that you've actually had in your hand, like kegs, fire hydrants.
Right.
Right. It's a lot more impressive than putting something on a barbell and carrying it around.
Well, you know what I think of with when I look at the axle or whatnot. The thing when you just mentioned about the weights versus like the fire hydrants or whatnot, it brings me back to Rocky IV when Rocky's training with a big giant thing of rocks versus the high-tech equipment. And it's more impressive to see Rocky Balboa pick up that giant that cart and have Adrian and Paulie inside of the cart and do his military presses with that instead of seeing Ivan Drago do it with whatever machinery he had.
America.
Yes. So Kristen, could you pick up a Volkswagen and move it?
A Volkswagen Bug?
Yeah.
And move it?
Yeah.
could probably do a
I have
marathon.
not. I could pick it up and run with it.
She throws it on her back, and there she goes. Look at her go! She could go all the way. I can see her rumbling down the sideline with a Volkswagen on her back.
My head sticking out the sunroof. Yeah.
That would be hilarious. So Johnny,
It's like
no,
like
go ahead.
Johnny said. It's just the thing about the sport that's really cool is we're picking up these odd objects that just weigh a lot of they just weigh a lot. They look really cool, and they you look at that and you're like, wow, that looks really heavy, and then us women are literally just picking it up and running with it, and it's really exciting for the show and the fans and the crowd, and they go crazy. Like everyone goes crazy when they see women picking up these huge objects and like moving them quickly.
Right.
So we're picking up kegs this weekend and running with kegs.
I think the guys that are winking their eyes at you are maybe getting a little bit nervous too, saying, "Geez, if I don't behave right, she's going to pick me up and throw me across the globe."
Yeah, I've been told I'm intimidating quite a bit, but that's okay. I'm okay with that.
Right. All right, Lenny, go ahead, pop in there.
I've only seen like 2 or 3 guys. That's it.
By the way, wanted to thank you both that you guys are representing America, because we know in these competitions that they are international. You have international competitors that are competing against you. So number one, producer Bucky, let's give them a round of applause for being American and representing our country in this. I want to thank you guys, and we certainly hope the best for you and that you bring it back to American soil where it belongs, these titles, okay?
We're keeping it here.
Yep. That's right. And I hear you both, and I hear you, Johnny, saying, man, I'm New Jersey strong over here. That's exactly what we are about as a nation. I wanted to ask you guys this, okay? Let me first go with Kristen. When you guys are picking up, like John was saying, these unusual lifts, and I've watched it where you guys are getting the poles and you're pushing them over, or where you're doing the farmer's carry with 200 or 300 or 400 pounds in each arm. You have to go so many yards. But the one that I think that I look and feel that it is the most difficult is picking up the stone. Are you feeling that? Is that the most difficult one there, John?
They're all difficult to an extent. They're all the crazy odd objects, no handles. But the stones, everyone loves the stones because that is a staple in strongman. When you think strongman, you think about these stones getting picked up and tossed, and us just getting down and dirty and finishing the show with the stone.
I love that the popularity of this has grown so much that, especially my son, he's 14 and a half years old, and we love watching the strongman competitions now on ESPN. And not only are they throwing us the vintage reruns, but they're throwing the stuff that's very current right now, strapping a bus onto you with a chain and dragging a bus. And by the way, Kristen, have you noticed that in the CrossFit games, they actually are mimicking, because you guys have had these oddball weights to lift for decades now in this competition, and now you're seeing the CrossFit competitors now also doing things similar. Have you noticed that they've kind of taken from the strongman and women's competition in their stuff? Can you explain that a bit?
So absolutely. I think that the thing about strongman is it's a true test of functional strength, and it's like your everyday type stuff. So with CrossFit, they can do burpees and pull-ups and, do clean and jerks with the barbell, and that's just like basic stuff. But you go out there and you pick up a timber in each hand, like you said, a farmer's walk with 200 pounds in each hand, and now you got to carry it. That's like it's more. I think it's more a true test of strength. Honestly, like you're really digging deep and having to get that that timber across this field. And I think that the two sports have just kind of like come together in that respect. I mean, they're never going to be the same, but it's nice to see kind of the crossover, I guess. So.
Sure. Yeah, I've noticed now that you guys are. Do you always have the competition in the same week or the same weekend with the Mr. Olympia? Is it married together in the same time frame each year?
There's the big sports festivals, right? You have the Arnold Sports Festival, you have the Olympia Sports Festival, and that's where all these different sports all come together under one roof. So yes, in essence, they do, but Strongman Corporation has, hundreds of competitions all year round in every state, on the weekend. So it's kind of like, it's just growing. It's everywhere. So go ahead, Johnny. I'm sorry.
Hello?
Johnny, you feel the same way, Johnny?
Yeah, there's always a strongman competition included at the Olympia. We're just lucky enough to have our competition there this year.
Right. Well, that is something that you guys are there. Sal, are we up against the clock?
Yeah, we have about 35 seconds here, Lenny, but I just wanted to jump in here. And I don't know if Johnny's on a speakerphone or not, but, it's if you are, if you could maybe get a little closer.
It's a little hollow sounding, and,
yeah.
and there's a little feedback on our side.
It'd help a little bit. But in any event, we'll continue with our conversations, and of course,
this is good stuff.
Yeah, it really is, and we want to make sure that you hang in there. So just for a few brief moments, we'll take care of a little bit of business. You're listening to the Sports Circus here on your favorite radio station.
Are you a small business owner or pursuing the dream of starting your own company? Do you know where to start or how to grow that existing business? The American Business Trust Company has the answers you need. The American Business Trust Company can help you with startup capital, business strategy, sales and marketing, and establishing your company with a physical location or on the internet. You decide. You bring the idea, the American Business Trust Company can help with the rest. For a free evaluation, you may visit them online at abtrustco.com. That's ABTRUSTCO.com, or call them at 657-600-1876. That's the American Business Trust Company, 657-600-1876. Call them today. They can help your business right away. So, you want to be in show business. Do people tell you that you're really funny, you have a great personality, and you should have your own talk show? Many of us have been told that, but we don't know how to get started. It's easier than you think. Let the pros at Cali Vegas give you a free talent evaluation. Call 949-445-1119 and learn how quickly you can create, produce, and host your very own talk show. Imagine not having to sit in traffic every day, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job. Get started in television or radio today with your free talent evaluation from Cali Vegas. Call 949-445-1119 or visit them online at calivegas.com. Make your dream come true today and create your new career and learn how to become a television or radio star with the help of Cali Vegas. 949-445-1119. Call now. Do you have any questions about legal issues? Have you ever been stopped by a police officer and issued a ticket that you're scared to deal with? Have you ever been in trouble with the law and don't know what to do? Do you have a will or power of attorney question? Is your home being foreclosed upon and you don't know where to turn? Maybe you were given a contract that you don't understand. For freedom and a worry-free solution, call for Legal Shield today at 213-245-1305. It's that simple. You will have access to high-quality law firms that will fight for you for less than $1 a day. Peace of mind is just a call away. That's for Legal Shield. Call 213-245-1305 or visit us at nocourt.us. It's justice for all and not justice for some.
All right, welcome back to the Sports Circus. Colonel Bucky here along with Sal, the ringmaster, and Long Beach Lenny, and of course a couple of great guests. This segment is brought to you by the Social Register of Las Vegas, the only private professional business networking organization with access to top business leaders with the purchasing power and consumer needs. Their membership consists of qualified business owners, top-level executives, and entrepreneurs who make the financial decision for their companies. You can visit socialregister.com to learn more, or you could give them a call today, 702-256-0123. That's 702-256-0123, and ask for Claire the Cougar.
Claire the Cougar Zito. Hallelujah.
We're back.
We are back. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, here with Long Beach Lenny, our co-host, and Colonel Bucky, who just did that read. We also have a couple of fine guests. Folks, if you're listening on our NBC Sports affiliates from coast to coast, make sure you also visit our social media pages, too, because we have them on Twitter. Just search for The Sports Circus. Make sure you follow us. Also go to Facebook and follow us there as well. And we also stream the show on Facebook. In fact, we're doing it for the Sports Circus site right now. So our special guest, we have some very strong people. Very strong people on the show in town for the big Olympia Festival here in Las Vegas. And I want them to reintroduce themselves in this segment as well, because I want them to be able to speak to the audience, tell them who they are, what they're doing, what hardware they're going to take away with them, and maybe if they're kicking some ass on the way out, they're doing that too. Go ahead, Kristen.
Hi, I'm Kristen Rhodes, 7-time America's Strongest Woman, here in Vegas this weekend, competing at Strongest Woman in the World, and that's what I'm doing.
And you've won it 3 times, right?
I've won the World Championships 3 times, yes. So I'm hoping to take home a 4th title this weekend.
Impressive.
Pretty impressive. And we got Big Johnny with us, too.
What's up, guys? Johnny Majishko, New Jersey's strongest man, professional strongman with Strongman Corp. I'm here this weekend against some of the best Americans in the country.